Speed Manifesting by Laurie Mitchell. Abundance Teacher's Guide. Speed Manifesting TM 7 Steps to Abundance. Now Laurie L. Mitchell. Introduction. Standing on the 14th hole, they tried, one after another, for that elusive hole in one. It was crucially important to get it now. At this hole, the stakes were great. Getting that small white ball into a hole 160 meters away with one swing meant that a great gift would be theirs, a dream of many, to own a Porsche. That day I was working for the sponsor of that hole. As I sat behind them quietly watching, I was astounded as one by one, each would talk himself out of the riches. "I won't get it," said one. Another, "I have been playing so well I will probably mess this one up. It'll never happen, but I might as well give it a go." And then, as their teammates tried, they repeated those defeating, impossibility comments, disguised as humor. John was a fun, friendly bloke, gray-haired, mustached, with a twinkle in his eye. He didn't say much, but appeared relaxed. He looked at his ball, looked at the green, looked again at his ball, and appeared to hesitate. His eyes were closed, momentarily, then he opened them and took his full swing. We all held our breath as his ball sailed effortlessly, bounced and landed on the green less than a meter from the hole. No one had gotten that close. What was different about his approach? When I congratulated him on his close call as he was awarded a prize for being the closest, he was very humble, and yet he did not try to dismiss his efforts. When I asked him what he had done just before the swing, he said he was picturing the ball landing in or near the hole. He said he couldn't quite get the flag out of the way, but he could clearly see the ball bouncing on the green right next to the hole. Extraordinary. There was something happening with the other men and women, and it showed in their results. They were intentionally behaving in a self-defeating way. They were business people at an event to increase their success, and they had paid well for the event through their expensive networking club. Something was drastically wrong, yet incredibly similar about their approach to success. On this day I realized that there was an undercurrent blocking immediate success for many people, and that the way around was a simple understanding about some basic laws in the universe about success and prosperity. The desire to share this information was created within me on that day. When I was growing up in Detroit, there wasn't an excess of money around, and my sister and I knew it. Our single mother worked to support us, and my father's child support checks didn't come often. When I was 12, my mother remarried a Canadian, and everything in my life changed. 8. Speed Manifesting. 7 Steps to Abundance. Now Laurie L. Mitchell. We moved to Toronto, and for the first time in my life we always had food in the fridge, a lovely home to live in, and beautiful furnishings. As I grew into a young woman, I realized that I never wanted to go back to the old, scarce standard of living. I got a good education and worked diligently at my jobs in the computer industry, with many opportunities available to anyone willing to work for it. I met my future husband and moved to New Zealand to be with him. I got a well-paying job and again worked my way up the career ladder. Back then our mindset was focused on being out of debt, and we were careful with our money, paying extra off our mortgage whenever possible. We had 2 children and moved into a beautiful home with a view over the city. Our children lived in a privileged neighborhood and went to a local state school in a wealthy area. I used to say that we bought there because we liked the view and had bought the worst house on the best street. Without knowing it, I felt that I had to justify my wealth. When my second child started school, we realized only one of us could work, because he had a learning disability and needed extra support. So I quit my job and began a business part-time from home. It didn't bring in much income, and our finances began to slip. Then it all got tighter and finally stopped. We had a 2-income mortgage on 1 income. My husband and I were both stressed. We were both arguing a lot, and we eventually both went into depression. Suddenly my stepfather, who had been through cancer treatment the year before, was put into hospital. I lived in New Zealand and he was in Canada. I quickly booked an air ticket to Canada. At that time I discovered brutally that I almost didn't have enough credit available for one return air ticket. We had gotten to the end of our cash, and then we were at the end of our borrowing ability. 2 hours before flight time I found myself negotiating with the bank manager for enough to cover that check. We got the extended loan, but to add insult to injury, I didn't even make it back in time to say goodbye to my stepfather. It was during this highly charged emotional time as I stayed with my mother in Canada that I started to review the reality of my financial situation. I think the first thing that happens as you expand your awareness is that you begin to notice yourself doing things wrong. When I got home to New Zealand a month later, I noticed words coming out of my mouth as if someone else was saying them. I noticed that I was telling my children, no, we can't afford that. No, we don't have any money. No, we're broke. No, 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 you can't have that. My oldest son even needed braces for his teeth and I could not do anything about it. I suddenly realized I was back in my childhood and my children were missing out. This shocked me and I began to search for a way out of this living nightmare. Turning point number 1, gratitude. Then a friend intuitively gave me a book that was the catalyst for an immediate, deep and lasting change within me. It was a book by Catherine Ponder called The Dynamic Laws of Prosperity. I suddenly saw that I had been thinking and talking myself into poverty, being unappreciative and ungrateful to what we actually had been given and what wealth I had around me. I was living in fear and had very little faith in anything other than my own efforts. As I read the book, I began to understand the power of immediate manifestation. I began to pray. I had begged for help before, but I finally saw that because of my pride and the way I thought about wealth, I was constantly saying no thanks when it showed up. This time my prayer was a deep prayer of thankfulness. With certainty I thanked the universe for showing me where I was going to get $50 for groceries for our dinner that night. This was the state of our finances. Within 30 minutes of saying that prayer, I wandered into our study and found myself facing our file cabinet, where we kept our bank account statements. It was at that moment that I suddenly realized that we had over $1,100 in our children's savings accounts. I was filled with thankful tears as I realized my prayers had been answered. This was the turning point for me, and my life has never been the same since that precious understanding came to me. If I had remembered about the bank accounts before my realization of accepting universal help, I would have said no. It's wrong to take from my children's accounts. No, that's their future. Based on our real financial situation, that could be considered stubborn insanity, and it would have been again refusing the abundance that was suddenly, magically being offered to me. So I took those accounts and began to use them for the urgent cash we needed to buy food for dinner. I began to practice creating and accepting the abundance that flowed around me and to me. When I found a 5-cent coin on the ground, I gratefully thanked the universe as if I had just been given a $100 bill. When I unexpectedly received a small rebate in the mail, I happily acknowledged the help being given to me. After this I stopped saying it was just a coincidence or just luck. Nothing was taken for granted. Our wealth was locked away within the contents and equity of our house, and the immediate issue was to restart and increase our flow of cash. I began to have constant inspirations to create cash for us. I started selling my surplus books, clothes and equipment on eBay. It was amazing. $10, $20, more and more money began to be unlocked and flowed, and I was thankful throughout. 10 Speed Manifesting. 7 Steps to Abundance. Now Lori L. Mitchell. The next stage was to make a decision to unlock the money contained within our home. The equity we had accumulated over 10 years compared to the debt was actually quite healthy, but it was separated from us behind our mortgage. So we made a powerful decision to release our debt and reduce our stress. We could have made other choices, increased our income, gotten second jobs and arranged after-school care. This was a personal choice, and for us, we had had enough of living house poor while pretending to be keeping up. For 10 years we had been dreaming of living in a warm place, and in the midst of this situation we made a decision to move to Australia. Things started to happen quickly, in perfect ways. Within a few months we had created a completely new life for ourselves, living where we truly wanted. We bought a house freehold. even when real estate agents told us it was impossible to get a house there for so little money. But we were focused on being financially free, and we did it. We found a lovely small villa within a resort complex. It was an instant community, and a fabulous way to start in a different country. Our children's bank accounts are full again, and thanks to the change from that moment on, they share in the wealthy mindset and enjoy a much better life in a beautiful, warm and fun place with their parents. Turning point number 2: speed. As I began to practice some of these principles consistently over the next several years, I noticed that sometimes things happen fast, and sometimes things seem to come slowly. I started looking for the similarities when things happen fast. At that point I began to see the same process working itself out continually, and I began to document and test that process with others. Then finally, I watched the process happen so quickly and perfectly during a course I took with 100 people that I had a significant insight. We were all put into groups of 7 or 8 people, and each group was required to manifest a specific outcome within about 5 hours, along with 6 other people that I did not know, in an unfamiliar city 5,000 miles from home. Without any visible means of support, we worked on it. I shared my 7-step process with the others, and together we completed the internal thinking work, and then we got busy. We tried several different actions, some which worked and others which didn't. We followed the principles outlined here to you, and when we came back 5 hours later, we had accomplished our task, the only successful group. As we were acknowledged for our results and our group cheered, I turned to look at my group's table. The sight in front of me overwhelmed me with emotion. You see, together 5 hours earlier we had deliberately visually imagined the moment, and in front of me was like a déjà vu, with the same people in the same places, clapping and cheering with their arms up in the air. I became in awe of a power that worked so obviously, so simply and so naturally. When we followed the process, I could so clearly see the workings of the universal laws, and I could see it as a duplicatable process. Now, when I hear stories about very fast manifestations, I can see the consistent components. 11. We all live in a sea of abundance, and yet some cannot seem to capture and use it. Speed Manifesting TM has been written for you. I know why you were given this information. I know why you have stayed through to here. This is your story, too. Turning your life around is simple, really, profoundly simple. As you read and absorb the material in this book, your life will begin to change. Watch for the changes. They will appear as opportunities that you never thought would be offered to you. They will show up in other people and how they respond to you. Your new awareness of life and how it works will shift your reality. Expected and great things will follow your expectations. To use the principles of Speed Manifesting TM powerfully, read carefully to find the clues to distinguish between manifesting and Speed Manifesting TM. Carefully hidden throughout this book is one magical key concept. Can you find it? It appears more than 50 times. Within the 7 steps are the essential understandings and actions to manifest your desires. The key is not one of the 7 steps, but it makes the change in the speed of manifesting possible. To get the most out of your time in this teaching, contemplate what this one key could be. You will recognize your understanding and implementation of Speed Manifesting TM as your life responds quickly with more loving relationships, better health and vitality, a definite flow of money to you, a heightened appreciation of the beauty around you, and your ability to be present in the moment. I wish that you receive the unlimited abundance that is waiting for you now, and has always been there waiting for you to accept. There is no mystery to creating the life of your dreams. It is simply a process, and when you understand that process, life flows naturally in the direction of your choices. Prosperous blessings to you. Lori Lynn Mitchell. 12 Speed Manifesting, 7 Steps to Abundance. Now Lori L. Mitchell. Section 1. Finding balance and truth. Be wealthy so you can enjoy the things in life that money cannot buy. Lori. 4 Areas of Balanced Wealth. When people think of wealth, many people think purely of acquiring money and the things that money can buy. Have you ever heard of someone who sacrifices all areas of life to get money, and ends up alone, sick and unhappy, full of regrets? On the other hand, have you also known people who are loving and great to be around and have wonderful relationships but struggle to pay their own bills or lack extra money to give to people? They justify this circumstance of lack by repeating old phrases such as "I just want to be comfortable." Money doesn't buy love, health, happiness. True wealth is a balance of four complete areas in life: others, self, nature and money. Money, others, nature, self. Figure 1. 4 areas of balanced wealth. When you are out of balance in any of these 4 areas, you feel lack in your life. This lack is illustrated in unhappiness, confusing relationships, or continual repetitive disappointments. It is a feeling of being on the wrong ship or the wrong ocean. It shows up in sickness, disease and poverty. Balanced wealth is very important, because our lives do not exist as a set of weight 13 scales. Balance does not mean that nothing is happening. Rather, your life is in constant motion like a spinning top. Imagine this, with one area being lighter or heavier. The result of imbalance pulls the success back from any and all areas. The juice of life is missing when the balance is thrown. Money. Your thought about money, it is bad, runs directly counter to your experience. It's great to have money. It never occurs to you that your idea about money may be inaccurate. Neale Donald Walsch. Conversations with God. Money provides the way to enjoy life more fully and give you more comfort. It allows you to take care of yourself and others and to keep your health through providing more than the basics of life. It also gives you the freedom to expand your knowledge, explore the planet, and have more choices for a fuller expression of life. Wealth as money is the experience of the circulation and distribution of goods and services. It represents the physical expression of everything we convert from something else. So what makes us so crazy when we think of money? Money is neither good nor bad. It obtains its value with the agreement of those who exchange it. Some belief systems have supported the perspective that the love of money is the root of all evils. 1. The original Greek version of this common saying has a different connotation. Through time and verbal usage, the meaning has drifted away. Often it is erroneously spoken as money is the root of all evil, which is furthest from the truth. I use this example because it is so often misquoted and misused as a justification to keep people in a poverty consciousness. It was never intended to be a quote supporting poverty. The original idea of the complete passage explains about coveting using one of the 4 Greek words for 14 speed manifesting. 7 steps to abundance. Now Laurie L. Mitchell. Coveting, or regime, to stretch after. Coveting has fallen out of common usage in English, but it means wanting to possess what others have. As for the love of money, in the Greek language love is described variously as agape, eros, etc. Other languages also have many different words for love. There is infatuated love, family love, passionate love, obsessive love, and so on. Yet in English there is only one word for love, with additional descriptive words and the sentence context to provide understanding. In the case of this quote, the Greek word is actually philargeria, love of silver, and the love here was more closely related to brotherly love. Have you heard of the city of brotherly love, Philadelphia? Money is a tool, not your friend. So taken this way in its fullness, it is meant more about relating too closely to it, looking wantonly at what goods others have, and hoarding the medium of exchange, which in earlier days was silver, not cash. Yet this simple quote has been used for centuries to justify poverty and vilify wealth. Look around you at the world. What does your experience of poverty tell you? My experience of life is that lack and scarcity led to wanting what others have, and this coveting is truly the root of evil. Money is a magnifier of character, and the reason many people can immediately think of all the bad rich people is because of this simple truth. Good, rich people do not often make the news. They generally just do what needs to be done, and even by being wealthy they add to the abundance through not only donations but also by spending their money, creating jobs and opportunities for others. In their silent giving they make more of a difference in many lives by simply being wealthy. Working with financial advisors years ago as a database consultant, I learned that their wealthiest clients were not often visibly so. They said you wouldn't know that their net worth was more than 98% of the people around them. They drove average cars and lived in the same home they had lived for years. Some people choose to show their wealth, and others do not. Some people have a public profile attached to their wealth, and so fame and fortune seem to go together, but others are wealthy in silence and modesty. Free yourself and realize that even though the so-called bad get rich, so do the great, the courageous, the stupid, the clever, the young, the old, the average, the genius, the slow and the diligent. There is more to learn about having abundant money wealth than you have been taught up to now. 15. How do I attract money? You may have already noticed that money does not come just because you are good. The answer is so simple that most of us missed it. Money is a fierce representation of a firm law. Money comes to those who serve value to others. Greater service value equals greater money. Wealth is not a measure of goodness. It is simply a measure of use value. It is not a measure of evil. It is an objective result of a release of your energy. Your beliefs about money limit your ability to accept and manifest your desires. Let go of the old belief that money is bad and start thinking about how you are going to provide greater service and value. When money comes in as payment for your value and service to the world, then it becomes your servant. There is truly no need to chase money. So many people act as though money is in control of their life, and because they believe that, the results show up exactly like that. Imagine you had a large pet dog in your life and he was in control of the household. What would your life be like? I imagine a whole pack of dogs in charge. Isn't it interesting that fear would be the result? Yet this is how people respond to money, when the simple answer is, change your attitude toward your own power. Train yourself to make money obedient to you, and imagine how your life would change. When you call, it comes. Once you learn to be the master of money in your attitude and thinking, it bends to your will. Then you can rightfully direct it where it provides the most increase to all through spending it, saving it and sharing it in balance. You will notice my emphasis on manifesting money and the things that money can buy. That is because you need firstly to increase the amount of money flowing into your life so that you 1. Pay your bills with ease. 2. Experience life fully. 3. Share your purposeful life. Once you remove the fearful pressure to earn money for survival, you can begin to live the life you are meant to live. Deep down you know that money is only part of the equation, and to enjoy wealth in all its fullness. The purpose of money is to be able to enjoy the things that money cannot buy. Find your greatest value to others and do it with excellence, with an impression of increase and with a creative, not a competitive spirit. 16. Speed manifesting. 7 steps to abundance. Now others, if there is any one secret of success, it lies in the ability to get the other person's point of view and see things from that person's angle as well as from your own. Henry Ford. L'Oreal Mitchell. Wealth with others includes the quality of relationships. Lack in this area causes heartache or an empty, lonely life. In your relationships, when you try to control and dominate others to get what you want, it causes conflict and unhappiness as people are suppressed and unable to fully express themselves, ultimately causing emptiness in yourself. Relationships can be the most challenging aspect of our development, and it can be the most joyful. With children, partners, spouses, family, friends, employers and work associates, the social part of our balanced wealth is complicated. Free will reigns, and yet we are all striving to agree while still achieving our own desires. In marriage, for instance, even though I have been married only once for more than 20 years, there has been a mixture of conflicts and agreement, clarity and misunderstandings, anger and joy as well as coldness and warmth. As you raise your levels of awareness and work on what the other wants, your love changes and grows to a stronger and deeper state of appreciation for another, and you can ultimately get more of what you want by allowing the other to have what they want within a balanced relationship. There was a time in my marriage when coldness set in. I say set in because, like a winter season, the distance between me and my husband seemed like it would not end. We disagreed about everything and we could not laugh at ourselves or the situation to break the stalemate. This went on for weeks, then months. It got intolerable, and I tried everything to talk our way through it, but the more I tried to fix it, the more he withdrew. As Valentine's Day came near, I began to reflect on our relationship and what I really wanted. I was out in my garden admiring the beautiful miniature white roses, and I saw a perfect new bud just ready to open. It struck me that what I wanted was for our relationship to open up, but I felt that it was frozen in ice. Then an idea occurred to me. I took that small white rose and submerged it in water in a small stemmed glass. Then I put it in the freezer. I arranged for a babysitter and booked a restaurant for Valentine's. Usually my husband 17 makes all the plans and bookings for our family, so this was very different. I waited until that night, and then I told him I had arranged everything and we were going out. We went to a lovely romantic restaurant by the sea, and when we arrived I placed the glass with the small frozen white rose on the table. I told him I hope the coldness between us will melt by the time this ice melts, and release the love that is frozen within. It was only a gesture, but it was all I knew to do, perhaps because it was so unexpected, perhaps because I stopped trying to fix things, but by the time that ice melted we were warm too. It gave us the chance to begin again and reconnect with the love we have for each other. I still have that rose tucked away, and it reminds me that sometimes just being and expressing our love is the only answer. Until I became aware that the highest gift given to us by our Creator is free will, my unconscious desire was to control others so that I could do things my way. This caused much of my earlier heartache and conflict. My father was married 10 times, and through observing the whole of his life I could understand how devastating and destructive his will to control others was, both in his sad life and the lives of those he touched. When I realized that the expression of love and appreciation was more important than doing things the way I thought they should be, more and more peacefulness opened up around me. It also gave me the freedom to allow others to be responsible for their own choices, yet I could still stay with my personal values if I felt strongly enough, and choose to disagree while still serving my needs for my highest self. Now, I prefer to allow others to be who they are, not who I expect them to be. Sometimes I may find it challenging to be around someone because we are vibrating at different frequencies, but then I can allow them to be, or choose to be someplace else without them. Relationships with children can be incredibly challenging at times, when you have expectations of behavior, codes of morals, and your own values separate to theirs. Book 3 of the Celestine Prophecy 2, Secret of Shambhala, suggests that our children choose us, that they are our teachers, and that we have it backwards. Our role is to express our love and care for them, protect them and teach them how the physical world works. They come to us as our spiritual teachers. Children are here to allow us to grow. They reveal ourselves to us. They are like a mirror, and we get to see where we need to expand and grow by our feelings or reactions around children. They also are the perfect teachers for reconnecting us with our natural state of love and joy in a moment of perfect presence. The awareness of this spiritual relationship has transformed my family life. Relationship training deserves to have much more time and priority in our early education, but any sincere effort at personal growth that teaches appreciation, encourages free will and explores self-responsibility is worthwhile and helpful, and builds an abundant life with others. 18 Speed Manifesting 7 Steps to Abundance. Now Laurie L. Mitchell. Self you cannot travel within and stand still without. James Allen 1903. Self-wealth represents your physical body as your temple and your alignment with the holiness of your body. How do you treat it? How do you feed, decorate and develop it? Your body needs full use to give back to you. It is always giving, and when your mind is in alignment with the miracle that is your living physical entity, then you have balance and support for all that your highest self is seeking. Most people treat their vehicles with more care and attention than their body. Review how you feel about your body. Do you think about it? Could you see it as a living physical entity that is you, but not all of you? Do you see the pure service that your body exists as, for your benefit, awaiting the next request by the wonderful tool called your mind? I imagine if your body was a baby that you were given to look after, how would you judge your care so far? Would you be thrown in jail for abuse or punishment of it? Would you be guilty of pure unconscious neglect? would you at the very least be guilty of overindulgence, or ruining it by spoiling it? In a way, your body is your baby, and you have that responsibility for the rest of your time in this physical life. With free will you have full domain over what happens to your body, but you can understand more about being a good steward of the vessel that is a part of you by relating to it in a caring, compassionate way. Self-wealth also means taking care of your personal development. To continue learning and growing intellectually, with yourself, your potential, is just as important as developing other relationships. It means taking care of you, and knowing that you deserve it. You are the potential for perfection and the expression of perfect love. Notice there is no separation of spirituality in the four areas, as that would imply a segregation and separation from you. Instead, all areas are considered as supported and connected by the energy of Divine Spirit. However, your personal relationship with your source of power, energy and inspiration is an important and unique connection. It is a part of your self-wealth because self is within. Some spiritual being out there suggests a separation from you, and a more empowering belief includes the power of life within you. 19. Quantum physics has shown that there is an energy that makes up the universal fabric of life. This energy exists in the dense matter of physical life, and the space in between. That means within your body and your mind, with both the seen and the unseen. You are a spiritual being living in a physical body. You are thought, energy and emotion directed by your individual perspective of the universe. The results will be great when you begin to direct your mind, thoughts and actions toward your own highest good within your physical and spiritual self and experience self-wealth. Nature. Every natural fact is a symbol of some spiritual fact. Every appearance in nature corresponds to some state of the mind, and that state of the mind can only be described by presenting that natural appearance as its picture. Ralph Waldo Emerson. All personal growth and self-help processes talk about areas such as physical, spiritual, health, financial, family or career. My experience is that all personal growth cannot be complete and balanced without the connection to nature as well as all these other areas. Wealth in nature includes enjoyment and contribution to the plant and animal kingdoms. It is also an appreciation of the energy and life that is in the elements of water, air, earth and fire as well as the skies above. Nature includes all things before we change, manipulate and transfer them. Before we create tools and convert materials into secondary materials, there is an untouched world of energy to enjoy. Nature is the master of life's analogies, and as I worked in my flower gardens over the years, I solved every conceivable corporate problem or challenge I had. As a divisional manager of a major computer company, I thought I was getting away from the stresses of work by getting out in my garden. However, as I saw the weeds taking over untended sections of my garden, and as I saw the new flowers failing when I forgot to water them, I got a multitude of problem-solving messages from my greatest teacher, speaking through the perfect analogy of a living, growing garden. 20. Speed manifesting. 7 Steps to Abundance. Now Laurie L. Mitchell. The universal law of similarity states that as above, so below, as within, so without. Once you attune yourself to the messages of the world around you, you can learn and use this in your own life. Whether it is looking up at the stars or down into a powerful microscope, the same rules of life apply. After being raised as an urban chick in Toronto, living in New Zealand for 17 years helped me to connect back to the beauty of the planet. New Zealanders still kept their own vegetable gardens and they planted flowers all year around. The countryside is untouched in many places. It is an awesome experience to see the remarkables at sunset, fly around the snow-capped Mount Aspiring and enjoy the sunrise over eastern beaches. With the full moon rising, I have stood on the beach in awe of the Moeraki boulders. I have taken in the incredible energy walking the fern valleys of the Canterbury Bush and then been gifted the view of a perfect triple waterfall. I have seen the retreating glacier at Franz Josef and the fjords of Milford Sound. I have been blessed to swim with the dolphins in Kaikoura and to immerse myself in the shattering cold of the Pelorus River. I have been to the mud pools of Rotorua and seen the perfect cone of Mount Egmont in Taranaki. In New Zealand, nature is so accessible, it draws you in. The energy is reviving and transforming. What around you can you relate to? Using nature as an experiential teacher can expand your awareness and connection with life so you can be drawn to enjoy it and learn to enhance your emotions of joy, love and satisfaction. The experience is one difficult to describe because nature's language is feeling and it does not completely translate to words. To accept this part of your wealth, celebrate and learn from all that is in its original physical form. Being wealthy in nature means experiencing life as it was in first creation. Can you enjoy going out to the beach, the forest, the mountains and the plains? Do you know where the moon rises, and when? Do you stop and acknowledge the magic and magnificence of the sunrise and sunset, like the birds do in their bird song? Can you wake up each morning and feel the glory of a new day on planet Earth? In a beautiful Russian series of books called Anastasia, The Ringing Cedar Series 3, the author describes in detail how he met a young woman in the Siberian woods who is so completely in harmony with nature that she seems surreal, yet the books about her teachings and her way of life are so compelling. Anastasia teaches how to reconnect with the natural way of living in harmony with your source of physical life, which is the planet around you and the cosmos above you. These books explain a philosophy to using living energy and appreciating nature in a more simple life. 21 Our lives can move smoothly through different obstacles with ease and flow, just like river water moves around and over rocks. We need to pay attention to all 4 areas of life and make sure that we have tuned all of them. When we are deficient in any of the 4 areas of a wealthy life, then, like a spinning top, our lives feel out of balance and it shows up in constant unhappiness. Look at each of these areas and ask yourself out loud, is there anything I need to do, say or complete in this area? Money is an exchange of energy and value and provides for us to further experience the physicalness of life in this dimension. To have more than enough creates more for others as we share and spend. It is okay to be wealthy and you are free to challenge any beliefs you have that say something different. Money wealth is a reflection of your ability to give value and accept value from others. Others includes relationships, and each relationship reflects ourselves in our reaction to the actions of others. Respecting free will and practicing tolerance teaches us the gift of choice and giving. To create abundant wealth in this area, practice appreciation. Self includes physical health and touch, learning and growth, knowing our own values and principles, standing up for ourselves and our needs, being true to ourselves and our purpose, and experiencing joy and peace within. To increase this area we need to fully experience love. Nature includes connecting to anything living on the planet, plants and what we eat, our pets and animals, the cosmos above and Mother Earth beneath our feet. It means being able to enjoy a sunrise or sunset, listen to the bird song, be in tune with the cycles of nature and feel the energy of the planet. Balanced wealth with nature shows in a connection with the divine spirit within all living things. The secret to money wealth is providing value to others. The secret to relationship wealth is appreciation. The secret to self-wealth is expressing love. The secret to nature wealth is experiencing divine connection. Be abundant in all these areas and your life will be extraordinary. 22 Speed Manifesting. 7 Steps to Abundance. Now L'Oreal Mitchell. Exercises 1. When was the last time I saw the sunrise? 2. How often do I treat myself to something special? 3. If I could change one thing about my relationships, what would it be? 4. What would be different in my life if I had as much money as I wished? 5. Where do I think I may be in or out of balance in each of the 4 areas? Use this table to identify areas of balance in your wealthy life. Others, relationships, family, children, workmates, employers, parents, partners, friends, acquaintances, associates, culture, sports, friends. Allow free will reactions, listening, keep agreement, self-exercise, feel well and vitally, try foods, meditate, give love, receive love, healthy sex, have quiet time, personal growth, body care time, music, art, aware of purpose, nature, pets, animals, experience the earth, tend garden, plant new life, walk in nature, enjoy rain, snow, buy flowers, sunrise, sunset, moon awareness, beaches, forests, Mountains money, pay bills with ease, circulate money, travel, gifts, donations, free spending, future savings, luxuries, new items, decorative items, useful items, entertaining items. As you review this list, be aware of the emotions different words give you, and ask yourself if there is anything you need to consider about it. 23 Beliefs or universal laws? The way to powerfully use both beliefs and universal laws is to know the difference. Be willing to challenge your beliefs, while surrendering to the way life works, which is called universal law. Laurie, the universe is made up of a perfect matrix of pure energy. Everything is energy. Matter and mass are composed of energy. The space in between matter is energy. This energy is an intelligent energy and can be affected by thoughts and emotions. Understanding of this energy comes through awareness of natural laws or life principles that become obvious once we begin to distinguish them as working behind everything we do. No matter how many times you drop a pen on the floor, it will never, ever float upwards, unless you tie it to a balloon. No matter how much you believe it would float up, the law is incontrovertible. That is what determines gravity as a physical law of the universe. It is not about right or wrong. Rather, consider it useful to know these laws when, for instance, you need to walk in high places. They cannot be changed or broken, and you would only break yourself if you try to go against them. In any sport, the players must know the rules. If you are a spectator, you can get by with only superficial knowledge. But in your own life, are you a spectator or a player? Early in 1988, shortly after I arrived in New Zealand, my husband was trying to explain the game of cricket to me. The World Cup was on and Sir Richard Headley was the captain. I was an avid baseball fan in Toronto and had watched almost every game the Blue Jays played since they began in 1977, so I thought cricket looked a lot like baseball. He explained about overs and bowls and innings and ducks. He told me about LBWs and sixes and even tea break. After a 24-speed manifesting, 7 steps to abundance. Now Laurie L. Mitchell. While I was still confused and frustrated, I could not understand why they just kept running back and forth, never really getting anywhere. So I asked my husband what was the purpose of the game. He said to win. Of course. No, I said. I mean, what are they trying to do? He said. To get the most runs. He didn't understand why I couldn't get the game. Even more frustrated, I stopped asking questions and just watched. After a while, I asked another question. What are those 3 sticks behind the batter? Incredulously he looked at me, then explained about the wicket. After both of us had some hearty laughter, I understood more. What I understood was that I should switch to rugby, so I did. In the game of life, most of us were not educated in the real rules. Instead, through trial and error, you learn some hit and miss rules intended for spectators. The rule book somehow got lost a long time ago, and ever since, our teachers were doing the best they could, but they were missing many pages. Are you willing to continue living your life with only the spectator's incomplete rule book? When you are a player, if you don't volunteer, life will draft you. Unconscious living is the level of the spectator, and as your awareness grows, you can choose to get into the game, your game of life. The universal laws are for the players in life. Beliefs: if you don't volunteer, life will draft you. Mark Vicente. Of what the bleep do we know? My first revelation of belief systems happened when I was 12 years old, moving from Detroit to Toronto. Flying 1 hour east, we crossed an invisible line called an international boundary. And everything changed. People spoke with a different accent and sometimes they used different words. Rubber band became elastic, tennis shoes became running shoes, and most sentences ended with "I." Strangers spoke to us in elevators. They made eye contact walking down the street, and even people we did not know smiled at us. Everyone was friendly. The place was clean and safe. It was odd that things could have changed so much, and I thought about this from time to time as I grew up. Cultures may appear similar, but because of differences in their laws, their history and their perspectives, they have different beliefs, different behaviors, and different outer circumstances. Once you know the difference between beliefs and universal laws and how to use both to your greatest strength and abilities, it will allow you to excel in life. As people generally walk through life, they see the world through rose-colored glasses. Just as you can forget while wearing sunglasses that you have a filter coloring everything you see, you can also forget that you have taken on beliefs over your lifetime from many different sources through environment and experiences. 25. How we form beliefs. When we are newly born, we begin to perceive and construct a view of the world through our experiences. As we do, our belief system is built, and this allows us to create an individual perspective to interact with and relate to our world. A new baby lives in a world of no belief. She is absolutely present, just being in the moment of wanting, needing, observing, or just in total satisfaction and bliss. As she grows and learns about her physical body and the physical world around her, she learns about cause and effect, action and reaction. Through this experience, she learns about some of the universal laws. She uses her perception through her 5 senses and then interprets this from her growing life experiences. After a period of experience and repetition, when cause and effect are replicated, she creates a first thought about something. This is how beliefs are born. As she grows and gains more life experience, this first thought provides a useful tool for survival and building on what she has already learned. Each time she experiences more evidence to a particular cause and effect, she interprets the evidence and has further thoughts layered on the first thought. This is the natural way of designing and developing the mind for safety and collecting data, to be able to learn and grow in this physical world. The interpretations of this storage of consecutive, repetitive experience of cause and effect are called beliefs. However, once she develops language and through interactions with others, she begins to acquire other people's experiences. She may be told or shown what others expect of her behavior, or what they have already experienced and believe. This is taught to her so that she may use the experience and knowledge of others to hasten her learning time. Beliefs cause problems when personal experience or observation is replaced by someone else's previous beliefs, interpretations, and worldviews. Generation after generation, we are told to believe their cause and effect experience because they experienced it and so it must be true. When we blindly follow others because that's the way it's been done before, we are giving up our own free will. This attachment to a personal belief as truth, as righteousness, it becomes an oppressing disregard for free will when one says you are wrong and I am right. This is unconsciously saying I do not live in the awareness of free will. 26. Speed manifesting. 7 Steps to Abundance. Now, L'Oreal Mitchell. There is another way. This is a 3-way perspective on your personal beliefs. There is your way, my way, and a way that works for both of us. When you can say in my experience I believe, then you are expressing a positive approach to using the strength in your beliefs. Changing beliefs and values. When your personal beliefs and values are close to your family culture, ethnic culture, or national culture, you will be in agreement with those around you. When you question those views which came before you, then you have disagreements. The teenage years are the transition between what values you have accepted without question, into assimilating a blend of your parents' or society's previous values, with your own experience and needs, forging your own new values and beliefs. You continue to build on these unconsciously more or less for the rest of your life. In the book Conversations with God, it is suggested that we keep our beliefs and values, because these make up the structure of our life and the fabric of our experience, and it is not a good idea to unravel the fabric of your experience. Examine them one by one, it is advised. Review them piece by piece. Do not dismantle the house, but look at each brick, and replace those which appear broken, which no longer support the structure. For once in a while we will have an experience or a new teaching which differs from our own beliefs and values, and we sometimes shift our beliefs or values to a new understanding. This is what you feel is an aha moment, an epiphany, or sometimes even a crisis. Nothing is ever the same to you again because you have restructured a belief, which leads to a change in behavior and therefore results. Many years ago I was perpetually late for everything. Every appointment, every commitment, and even every morning to work was a struggle to be on time. Stress surrounded most of my life as I lived this way. I learned that planes don't wait. I learned that no matter what your good reason or excuse was for being late, sometimes you missed out. Then one night I was so late to pick up my husband after his long overtime shift that he ended up walking 20 minutes, to the point where I caught up with him. He was always on time, even though he had previously accepted my way of being perpetually late. That night he was not happy at all, but he didn't say a thing when he got in the car. For me, the wake-up call was in his silence. At that moment I realized what it had been costing me to be late all this time. The stress, my self-worth, and most especially, his feelings of trust for me. I loved the way he was always on time, and I wanted to be the same for him. He didn't have to say a thing, and I realized that the cost of continuing to be late was too much. Something shifted within me, and I made a decision that 27 night. I started being on time, all the time, without stress. I learned to easily say I have to go now. I learned to leave the phone if it rang just as I was due to walk out the door. I set up a pattern and planned to be early. When I needed it, I used the emotional pain of that night, that mistake, and immediately received the discipline to carry out my new value. That was over 15 years ago, and I have had many demands on my time since then. I have had multiple responsibilities and conflicting business and family needs. But now my value of respecting my agreement with others has overruled any moment of indecision. If I am late, it is an odd, unusual experience that could not be planned. This change was and still continues to be a strength, because I had an immediate and complete shift in my beliefs and values, and I chose to act differently. Beliefs are from the past. Beliefs are based on personal, changeable perceptions and are as unique as a fingerprint or a snowflake. Each of us puts together our interpretations of life and builds a supporting belief system to perceive and relate to the world. As your programming is laid down in your memory circuits, they become automatic ways of being. Using only your beliefs to guide you through life is like driving down the street and trying to steer the car using your rear view mirror. Awareness of particular beliefs will become essential when you need to do things differently from the past. A woman was talking to me about the secret movie she had just watched. She thought it was great, and began to discuss it with me. She explained that she had been a practicing pagan, Wiccan for over 30 years, and she started to compare the secret teachings to her faith. Pagans believe in a connection with Mother Earth, and there are rituals and tenets helping and directing life. As she talked about what her faith said compared to the secret, the law of attraction, I found that we were having difficulty. Before we could have a useful and constructive conversation, I had to first help her to understand the difference between universal laws and beliefs. Once she saw the difference, she felt free to explore the teachings about universal laws and still hold to her personal beliefs, without feeling that she had to choose between them. Beliefs can be the hidden, unseen filters that hold you back. In your unconscious attachment to them, you become stuck in a recurring creation of the past. If you would like to create something different for yourself, then it is essential that you open up your mind to new possibilities and continually challenge your current beliefs. There was a time when I thought I knew how to make life work and how to be successful. When things stopped working, it became apparent that I was missing something. My family life was very unhappy. My health and finances were going backwards and my marriage was stressed. I thought I was still doing all the same things, yet I was missing some key wisdom, knowledge, or 28 speed manifesting. 7 Steps to Abundance. Now L'Oreal Mitchell information, and it showed. It was a mystery to me, and I began to study, understand and embrace the natural laws of the universe. When everything finally improved for me, this time I knew why. I was in the flow of life, understanding and using the universal laws. If something stopped working, or I got off track or slowed down, I was able to review the basics about the laws. Then I was free to review my current beliefs, challenge them, and actively change my thinking and feeling, which then changed my behavior, my results, and therefore my world. Universal laws. Law of attraction. Energy vibrates at different speeds, or frequencies. Slower vibrations producing physical matter, faster vibrations producing thoughts, fastest vibrations existing in the frequencies of emotion and light. One of the properties of energy is that each frequency attracts and tunes to all other energy waves of the same frequency, like a tuning fork. Therefore thoughts and emotions attract like energy. This is the primary law of humanity. Law of rhythm. Life unfolds in cycles. Everything has its season. Tides flow in and out. Day follows night. Things get worse and things get better. Go with the flow. Law of gestation. Every seed planted has its unique gestation period. Linear time is a concept used by man as a way of organizing activity and agreement. Patience and faith assist in allowing the universe to work out its perfect creation time. Law of relativity. Everything just is, until related to something else. Here cannot exist without the reference point of there. Law of cause and effect. Every action has a reaction. You reap what you sow. Law of vacuum. Nature seeks to fill a vacuum. By creating a vacuum you allow more to flow in. 29 Law of polarity. Everything has an equal and opposite. There is no bad without good, no hot without cold, no dark without light, and no problem without a solution. Therefore the moment a desire is conceived in your heart, its counterpart, form, exists in the thinking formless substance ready to be born. Following the law of gestation. Law of similarity. As above, so below, as within, so without. Analogies are a powerful way of teaching because of the law of similarity. The way you observe life in one situation you can apply to others for a greater understanding of yourself within. We can use nature to learn about ourselves and our current obstacles to overcome and develop yourself. Law of order. You live in an orderly universe, and by reflecting this principle you are working with the universe to help you toward your intentions. Law of motion. Nothing stands still, nothing stays the same. Life is in continual motion. Do not fret about current unwanted circumstances. Appreciate what you have. It is an illusion to try to hold on to things, for even this shall pass. Other universal laws exist which are available on www.speedmanifesting.com. 30 Speed Manifesting, 7 Steps to Abundance. Now L'Oreal Mitchell. Exercises 1. What beliefs have I been taught by my family? 2. What does my family believe that is different from my experiences of life? 3. What things do my friends believe that are different from what I believe? 4. What would I like to have as a new belief about an abundant life? 5. How can I use this new distinction about the difference between my beliefs and the universal laws? 31 Section 2. The process manifesting is natural. We are born with the desire to create. We know how to ask, but we forget how to allow and accept. Lori. 7 Steps to Abundance. What's all this got to do with speed? Have you tried manifesting what you want, and wondered why it was not working? Have you pondered what ingredients were missing? Has your past success been like a start-stop cycle? Do you have areas of confusion in any part of your life? The following section is your manual on manifesting your desires in life. These 7 steps are the steps to build the life of your dreams. Each is an incremental step and yet all must be included. Individual steps are not necessarily speed. As you focus on your intended outcome you can bring the next step and the next quicker, with the result being a fast manifestation of your intentions on an ongoing basis. Once you have completed the 7 steps you will find a further chapter on how to turn your knowledge into speed. Depending on your intentions, speed could be creating the next step tomorrow, or within a year, or within 10 years. Working with the law of gestation. Speed Manifesting TM is about working with the universe to receive your intentions in the quickest, most direct method. If you find any stumbling blocks as you work through Speed Manifesting TM Section 3, when is it going to happen, will help you explore what might be the cause and inspire you to continue to manifest powerfully and quickly. You will be astounded, amazed and in awe of your own power to create once you apply these principles. 32. Speed Manifesting, 7 Steps to Abundance. Now L'Oreal Mitchell. The feeling is the start of creating and the action is the completion. In each step along the way you must pay attention to and direct what you are feeling, as you take actions and direct your thoughts. When you are feeling good, you are on the right path for your own good. When you feel fearful, look within and get back into the joyful expression of everything you do. Choose to be happy in whatever you are doing. Complete and master all the steps and finally infuse the special key. You will quickly release the abundance that is around you into the fortress of beliefs you have built until now. 33. Step 1. Know what you want. Words are the lens to focus one's mind. Ayn Rand begins speed manifesting TM by setting your intentions in a definite, written format of the desired end result with a firm completion date. You start to communicate what you want by writing it down as if you can see it in a picture. Stay focused on your end intentions, rather than listing a step-by-step plan. The how-to is to be provided just in the course of life itself. It is considered the part of the universe to provide the way. Until you master speed manifesting TM, the practice of writing your intention reveals whether you actually know what you want, or if you need to go through a process to work it out. When I arrived in New Zealand, I had $15 in my pocket and 2 suitcases with all my belongings. I got a job at a computer company within 6 weeks. At 26 years old, I had telephone sales experience in Canada, and in my new role I earned $25,000. That year I created my new intention list for my new country. As always, I wrote what I wanted, not what I thought I could do. The list was put away and I got on with settling in with my new man in a new home. Over a year later I found that list and I was astounded to see that I had accomplished something that had seemed an impossible intention when I wrote it. It read, "Be a manager with salary of $40,000. During that year I had worked diligently, and when someone moved on I took a role handling all the computer supplies for the branch. Then the structure of the company changed and it took over 8 other offices. I was offered the role to manage the complete supplies division, and the new salary was exactly $40,000. That possibility was created out of simply writing it down, because I knew what I wanted. Writing about the outcome. If you have not been used to writing down what you want, I recommend that you start generally and move to more specific desires about the type of life you would like to live. Start with a fanciful wish list. There is no need to share this list with anyone. Just write things you have always wished to do, to be, or to have. As a wish list, it gives you permission to daydream without the commitment of having to do anything about it. The wish list time frame can be over your whole lifetime. To give you a starting point for writing, sometimes when you begin the process of 34, speed manifesting, 7 steps to abundance. Now Lori L. Mitchell. Deliberate creation. You don't know what you want. This could be for many reasons, including habit of focusing on what you don't want, thought that dreams are not real life, too busy dealing with current stressful circumstances, current beliefs about worthiness, afraid to explore what you want, unclear on your values. If you are stuck and only come up with what you don't want, just take note of your present state of mind and allow yourself to move on. Write the list of what you don't want and then cross it out. This is important to show your subconscious to disregard it. Then go through each item and think of the opposite, and write that down. If you have had many failed relationships, for instance, and you say what you don't want in a partner, use the universal law of polarity to redesign it. I don't want someone who smokes, then becomes I am spending quality time with my partner who is committed to health and fitness and loves to breathe clean air. Your wants and desires are based in values, and values drive beliefs. Finding out what you really want starts with becoming aware of what also drives your wants, needs, desires and emotions. Uncovering our personal values can turn the light on to the whys of your decisions and reactions. When you can stand clearly on knowing your values and using them to choose, rather than react without knowing why others that we love are making bad choices, then you can follow your heart. You can look at what you want with a clarity and purposefulness that will guide your life effortlessly. Your decisions become simple, even if they inconvenience others around us, because you are following your own principles, or values. Firstly, you can write down what you think may be some of your highest values, and then prioritize them. Use the exercise at the end of this chapter to define and order your values. One thing to consider is that values are not virtues. Some of the values you may find you have are not necessarily a moral statement, they are just your values. They are your way of deciding and choosing between going toward things and going away from things. Use the exercise at the end of this chapter to distinguish some of your values and their priority in your life. Then look at aligning your intentions and your actions to your values for more powerful manifestations. At first, this listing your wants may be all new to you, so you can start simply. Be clear, be precise and be reasonable, and remember to say by when. Ask for small things first, like a visit from a friend, a coffee, or a special book from the universe. Then go look for it. This will begin to build your faith that this stuff works. Big or small, it still works. 35 I bargained with life for a penny and life would pay no more. However, I begged that evening when I counted my scanty score. For life is a just employer, it gives you what you ask, but once you have set the wages, why you must bear the task. I worked for a menial's hire, only to learn dismayed, that any wage I had asked of life would have willingly paid. Think and Grow Rich. Napoleon Hill. 36 Speed Manifesting. 7 Steps to Abundance. Now L'Oreal Mitchell. Playing big. Are you ready to play a bigger game? When you are, it is better to be unreasonable. Create intentions that you or others would say are unreasonable or even unattainable, but you really want them to happen. Then begin to enjoy the ride. Dream big. If you are ready to take the actions to receive in a big way, write about what you want with no boundaries or limits. The point of an intention is not so much the achievement, it is what the achievement makes of you along the way. Julie had a childhood dream to be the first woman on the moon. She had not done well in science in school and she had grown up and moved on in life, but gave up on this unsuitable dream. When she looked at doing this wish list writing exercise without limits, she put her childhood dream back on the list because after all these years she still wanted to go into space. She said she felt a little silly putting it there when it was impossible. Within a few moments of contemplating it, she suddenly got very excited. She realized that maybe it was still a possibility 30 years later, because she had recently read an article about Sir Richard Branson's bid to take a commercial flight into space. Remember, you do not have to know how to do it to begin. You don't even have to do it all by yourself. You may not even finish the job before you pass it on to the next generation of creators. But is that a reason not to use all your talent to get it started? I encourage you to reach for the stars. You might just make it to the moon. To believe that what has not occurred in history will not occur at all is to argue disbelief in the dignity of man. Mahatma Gandhi. One of my intentions may be considered big and others might say totally unreasonable. I will share it with you so you understand big intentions. My intention is to assist in the transition from the current calendar to a 28-day calendar so we can shift our consciousness and synchronize with the rhythm of the universe. I have not lost my mind, because after researching the idea for 2 years and trying it out, to me this is totally reasonable and makes much more sense than our current out-of-sync calendar. My life has taken on a natural flow since using this, and I have come across businesses that are already using a 28-day, 13-month cycle for their reporting and sales cycles because it is more effective. Is it a wild intention to change a widely used calendar? Others may find it as useful as I have. After setting my intention and dwelling on it for a time, I decided to create, use and distribute a new diary planner so that individuals and businesses can have a better way to go with the 37 orderliness of the universe. This is my desire, and you can choose any intention you truly desire if you can be free from figuring out how to accomplish it before you commit to it. Just be willing to surrender to the work you are called to do out of your intentions. Now, for your intentions, choose some that are worthy of you. Make some fun, make some personal, make some transitory and simple, and finally make 1 or 2 that you cannot possibly do. Then, after you have set them, spend time contemplating and meditating on how you might possibly start. Ideas for writing 1. Wish list and intentions list. These are your main lists. Start with your general desires. Then once you have created a list, choose the ones you would like on this year's intentions list. Write in the present or past tense, like I am. Never use a future tense like I will. Use the suggested page worksheets at the end of this chapter to brainstorm your desires and turn them into definite orders. 2. Diary planner. Write what you desire within the next year and put it in your diary. Regularly look at it, read it and feel the joy each item brings. 3. Intention card. On a wallet-sized card, write 1 or 2 short-term intentions and carry it with you to remind your subconscious. Read it out loud each day with grateful thanks for already receiving. 4. Dream day. Write or record a detailed story of your dream day. Start with "it is," the date, and "I am," with doing it in. You are allowed to make it an unusually long day, with all your ultimate heart's desires to experience, have, do and be. Use emotive, descriptive language. Read or play this often and feel the happiness and joy as you read. Do you remember the old movie, Groundhog Day with Bill Murray? He had to repeat the same day over and over again. If you had to live out this dream day for the rest of your life, what would it need to be for you to love it? 5. Family wish list. We keep a sheet of paper inside our kitchen pantry door. When anyone in the family wants something substantial to buy or do, we put it on the list. We have completed several since we started this in 2005, and it has been fun and inspiring to watch as we realize our wishes. We check off accomplished items as we go. It also teaches my children to focus on what they want without the instant gratification of thoughtless procurement. Yes, I teach them 38 speed manifesting, 7 steps to abundance. Now L'Oreal Mitchell, they can have anything they want, but it is still important for them to feel gratitude and understand their involvement in the process of creating. 6. Daily Dream Journal. This represents a journey rather than a destination. Be free to explore in writing all your intentions and desires, and use repetition to bring the feelings into focus. In all of these ways, be clear and precise. Focus on the outcome, not the steps in the process. If you say I want $20,000 by this September, you may get it in a way you would prefer not to. Inheritances and insurance payouts are ways of getting this type of money. What are you planning to do with the money? Write that instead. Perhaps what you really mean is that you would like to have that amount in the bank to be free to do what you want on a weekly basis. Then think of the freedom and feel the joy of experiencing every day like a Saturday. Again, absolutely leave the how out of it when you are writing your wants. How is the work of the universe and is pondered and meditated upon after you have stated and clarified your desires. What do you want the money for? Focus on the purpose behind the lump sum, such as the way of life you can imagine, or the car, the holiday, a closet full of clothes, a great relationship, changing the planet, or leaving a legacy. It's all right to ask for a weekly income sum, but you must state an amount. I know someone who wouldn't say a specific amount because he felt it was too limiting. He said, since the universe is unlimited, yes, the universe is unlimited, but it needs a clear and specific request with a time frame in order to create the delivery. He still struggles at getting enough to pay his family's weekly bills, but he resists committing to a clear amount. If you were to go to the local hardware shop and order some wood, you'd need to tell them how much so they could arrange the shipment. If you told them you didn't want to say, the hardware shop would not send it until they could confirm what you expect. Are you building a house or table? The universe is the same. As a guide, consider each of the 4 areas of balanced wealth. See Chapter 1, and ask yourself what you would like to experience, be, do or have within each. Write down your general desires first, and then make it more specific. Continue to get more descriptive about your wish list. Turn it into an intentions list and put an approximate date of completion. 39. Just as the archer must aim his sight higher than he intends in order to reach over the distance and hit his bullseye, you must be prepared to aim higher than the result you seek. We are taught a hit or miss mentality. Life is more like archery. As the closer you get, the better the prize, and anything on the target is a win. Once you have set your intentions list, ask yourself, am I willing to take action to achieve it? Am I willing to do things differently? Am I willing to put sustained focus and effort on it? If not, then change the intention. This is creating, not a free ride. You can create all you truly desire in life, but you must be willing to take action and do things differently than you have in the past. Each year you can review your intentions list and carry over any outstanding desires from the previous year. Acknowledge all that you have accomplished and thank the universe for the guidance and help endlessly being given to you. When you write a definite, specific list of what you desire, you will speed up the flow. Things will come to you at lightning speed, in their own order. You can have more stuff to play with, be free financially to live the life you dream about, have the experiences and the relationships. You can serve and work for very great causes. This step is so powerful that opportunities will come in front of you as a direct result of creating this list. But will you dismiss them, deny them, or refuse them because you expect that the act of wishing for them will get them? Beyond the wish, your decision to focus on what you want, combined with the willingness to receive it by taking action, will be the difference between the way it has been in the past, and the new future into which you are venturing now. 40 Speed Manifesting. 7 Steps to Abundance. Now L'Oreal Mitchell Exercises. Step 1. Write a list of at least 5 values that you think are important to you. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Here are some examples: integrity, friendship, family, freedom, independence, love, harmony, calmness, security, trust, respect, accomplishment, excellence, adventure, security, fairness, acceptance. Compare any 2, and choose between them, if you had to. For example, between family and freedom, prioritize them by comparing them in pairs, and put them in order. Think of a time of indecision and see where you have 2 values competing. Consider which values are your parents' values, and choose whether they are yours. 241 Exercises. Step 1. Continued. 1. What do I want to accomplish in my lifetime? 2. What has stopped me in the past from accomplishing my desires? 3. What am I going to do next regardless of any obstacle? 42 Speed Manifesting. 7 Steps to Abundance. Now L'Oreal Mitchell My Dream Day. 43 Wish List. Other Self Nature Money. 44 Speed Manifesting. 7 Steps to Abundance. Now Intentions List for this year. Other Self Nature Money. L'Oreal Mitchell by 145 Review of 7 Steps. Step 1. Know what you. Step 2. Imagine with emotion. Step 3. Feel gratitude. Step 4. Think deliberately. Step 5. Beware the power and poison of words. Step 6. Take action. Step 7. Start circulation. 46 Speed Manifesting. 7 Steps to Abundance. Now L'Oreal Mitchell. Step 2. Imagine with emotion. Imagination is the beginning of creation. You imagine what you desire, you will what you imagine, and at last you create what you will. George Bernard Shaw. Your next step toward manifesting is to use your incredible power of imagination to daydream and visualize your desires. This activates an emotional part of your mind and is the communication device to the universe. I imagine with emotion. This step involves both doing and being. Match your learning style. Considering that there are 3 known learning styles, it is useful to discover your own and use that to imagine. Visual, auditory and kinesthetic learning styles show the way our brain processes and integrates information. Using these you have powerful choices to engage your imagination. To find out which is your predominant style, think about which way is easiest for you to learn something new. Also, listen to yourself and your words. Here are some ways of identifying your style through your predominant words. I see what you mean. It looks good to me. Visual. That rings a bell. That sounds right. Auditory. That feels right. How does that feel? Kinesthetic. We all use these words and phrases, but you will use your predominant style most. When I used to teach software, I quickly found out someone's learning style by asking if they preferred to listen, watch or drive the computer mouse themselves. Every single student knew immediately which way was easiest to learn, and it determined their style. When I matched my style to theirs, they learn quickly. 47. Visual. Create dream boards that you look at. If you primarily process through visual senses, then dream boards and vision boards work quickly for you. Put pictures and photos on your phone, in your computer and on wall posters. Create a collage. a picture poster of what you want your life to be and to look like. Gather a large piece of paper, glue, scissors and magazines, holiday brochures or photographs. Look through the magazines and choose any images or words which appeal to you. Don't rationalize or think too much. Just grab anything you like and place it on the board. Once it is complete, place it somewhere you can look at often. Another way to create a powerful visual dream board is in the inside cover of your diary. You can carry it with you all the time, and whenever you get stuck waiting in a line somewhere you can take it out and look at it. It can be like an instant mini holiday. The point is to generate the feelings of anticipation and joy on a regular and consistent basis. Auditory: play music and sounds that bring you into your desired state. Meditate with music. Listen to the world around you and find sounds that you associate with wealth, love, closeness, joy, freedom and abundance. Record your spoken dream day onto your MP3 player or a CD and listen to it in your car, while waiting in lines, or any spare time to get yourself into a state of listening to your own intentions, so you can imagine with emotion and bring that into the now. Kinesthetic: go out and experience your desires. Use test drives, walkthroughs, smells, sounds, tastes and touch. Try on the ring. Take a holiday giving you the feeling and way you choose to live. Go to a wedding and imagine yourself in their place if you intend to attract your perfect mate. Go to a playground to be with children if you intend to have them. Have an actual experience of your desires. Optionally, if you are an artist or enjoy painting and drawing, use your talents to create with your hands. Draw detailed images of your desires and then look at them often. Put your energy of anticipation and joy into each stroke of the brush or pencil. Use clay if you prefer to bring your thought image into the real image. Then use your imagination to make the piece come alive. Find and awaken the child within to make this happen using your mind's eye. You may be astounded at the fast results. We use all three styles, but you will have one dominant way of thinking. If you are not visual dominant, that's probably why you find a standard poster vision board doesn't work for you as 48-speed manifesting. 7 Steps to Abundance. Now Lori L. Mitchell. Well, become aware of your own learning style so you can speed the manifestation. The purpose of this is to allow you to engage your 3D holographic imagination with the feelings and positive emotions you associate with already being there, having that and doing that. High-tech dream boards. If you prefer, you can keep a dream board on your computer using desktop wallpaper, slideshows or screensavers. You can also download photos for your mobile phone, your PDA or your iPod device. There are fantastic products on the internet that allow you to put together an electronic collage or slideshows from stock photos too. MindMovie is an excellent technology product to combine all learning styles and easily create. And we like it so much that we chose it as one of our products to purchase on www.speedmanifesting.com. The point about dream boards is that you will watch them come true. Once I was standing at Kangaroo Point, admiring the view of the river in the beautiful city of Brisbane, Australia, near my new job. Later that night I was looking at my dream board, and I was startled but quite pleased to realize that there was a picture of the exact spot I had been standing that morning. That dream board had been put together before I moved to Australia, and when I placed it on my dream board I knew it was a picture of Brisbane, but it's a big city. I live an hour outside the city and I have never worked anywhere else in Brisbane except along that route. How interesting. There are many other things that I have received through my dream board. More family fun, more cash, more opportunities and more passion in my relationship. The dream board engages your imagination and feelings of desire. It focuses your vision. It allows your subconscious brain to work away in the background, watching for opportunities to deliver. It allows the formless intelligence of the universe to prepare for delivery through activating your emotions and expectations. Meditation. Albert Einstein would meditate anytime he needed to solve a problem or ponder an unanswered question about the universe. Plan your day to meditate for anywhere from 5 to 15 minutes at the very least. Build this up to 3 times a day if you are working on moving a creation along quickly. Perhaps do one formal meditation during the day, plus use your morning shower or bath time as another shorter one. What else do you use this precious thinking time for anyway besides deciding whether you need to add soap to the grocery list? You can also use the time just before bed to complete your third daily quiet time. 49. Sample meditation. Take 5 minutes and quietly sit in a comfortable place. Close your eyes and choose one of your desires to think about. Imagine yourself 20 years from now. Visualize your surroundings. Are you sitting in a chair beside a fireplace? Are you on a beach? Are you sitting on a porch or balcony? Feel the warmth on your face. Get into that place. Now, from that place, look back to the time you just achieved one of your desires. What does that feel like? What are you doing? What are you saying? Are you jumping up and down? Are you hugging someone? Feel it in that moment. Now bring yourself to your future again and feel the satisfaction of all your accomplishments. You have done it all. You stayed focused. You did the work to achieve your dreams. Your life has been a beautiful testimony to the greatness and potential finally expressed. Now close your future eyes and come to your physical body. Immediately bring the feeling of joyous anticipation with you. Thank the universe in grateful expression for showing you the way and being your perfect partner in co-creation. Say thank you out loud as you receive all that you require to fulfill your dreams and share an awesome life with others. If you would like an extended audio copy of this meditation exercise, you can download it on www.speedmanifesting.com. You can also try Holosync Meditation by Bill Harris of Centerpoint Research. His technology allows anyone to meditate and get the benefits quickly. Daily meditation is not optional if you are practicing speed manifesting TM. You will need to engage and align your subconscious mind with the divine source, and that is through the quiet listening to the universe as you visualize your desires. 50. Speed manifesting. 7 steps to abundance. Now Lori L. Mitchell exercise. Step 2. Identify your learning style as visual, auditory or kinesthetic and create a matching dream board, sound recording or experience of one intention on your list from the previous chapter. What changes did you see within 10 days of this 51 review of 7 steps? Step 1. What you want. Step 2. Imagine with. Step 3. Feel gratitude. Step 4. Think deliberately. Step 5. Beware the power and poison of words. Step 6. Take action. Step 7. Start circulation. 52. Speed manifesting. 7 steps to abundance. Now Lori L. Mitchell. Step 3. Feel gratitude. The grateful mind expects good things, and expectation becomes faith. Wallace D. Wattles. What's the magic word? How many times were you asked that as a child? Please and thank you are magic words. Your parents weren't kidding. Think about it. If you use these words, you are considered well-mannered and polite. When you are traveling internationally, these are the 2 phrases in any language that help the most, besides where is the toilet. If you don't use them, you would be considered rude. When people use them with you, how do you feel? Do you want to help more? Maybe. But when people don't use them, you feel less inclined to help, don't you? The day my life changed forever, where I accepted and received my power and place in the universe, was the day I truly learned about feeling gratitude. It was gratitude and thanks for what I was about to receive. This is a critical part to manifesting, and gratitude connects you instantly to your source and creator, God and the universe. Being centered on gratitude brings inner happiness, and being happy brings a sense of gratitude about life that is unshakable. When I was young and my grandparents said grace before dinner, I missed the point completely. It seemed like a ritual then, but now I realize that this allows us a moment to stop and be in an emotional state, feeling the gratitude of receiving in advance. In the past, only when I was at the end of my wits and needed help the most, would I beg and cry out for it. My prayers were something like, "Please help me." Often my cries would be answered. But I went through a lot of suffering and then I got to a place of begging in sincere destitution. I didn't think I was supposed to bother the universe for small, daily requests. I thought I was supposed to do it all myself. Prayer equals gratitude. And a more powerful prayer is thankfulness in advance. No matter what religious beliefs, many people acknowledge the power of prayer. Praying is an intentional conversation of gratitude with your source energy. The feeling of gratitude is a warm content place. It is a place of deep heartfelt understanding and knowing you have already been blessed to receive, regardless of what circumstances are in front of your eyes, or have been in the past. It is from the imaginative perspective of being in the future. 53. Looking back joyfully at your desires as already accomplished, already complete and already in place. Even with incredibly challenging circumstances, find this gratefulness and you may start to get immediate relief from some of the suffering in which you may be involved. Sometimes you will even get a miracle of release, forgiveness and healing in a moment's shift, to give you a completely new perspective. If you are not sure how to start, or even if you think you are grateful, try this appreciation exercise. Morning and bedtime, write down or say out loud all the things you are grateful for in your life. Just note anything and be thankful for all the little things that you have. Feel your gratefulness in the moment. Find your own way to change how you are feeling in the moment. Get up and dance. Listen to beautiful music. Hold a kitten or a puppy. Drive to a scenic area. Feel prosperous, feel healthy, feel peaceful, feel love. Be grateful to the source of all that comes to you, the universe. Do not get mixed up with the source. If you pat yourself on the back, your gratitude is misdirected. Rather, direct your thankfulness to the intelligent energy that gives you all that you ask. People and circumstances are the channel to deliver your intention, and thanks is always an appreciation of the whole process. Just remember to direct your constant gratitude to that source energy and know that it is truly not you who delivers all that you ask. That would be doing life the hard way. The easy way is this: you ask, and the universe delivers. Appreciation. If you have a struggle with your relationships, look at something in them that you appreciate. Have a look around at other people's circumstances, or watch the evening news. Only this once to see perhaps something you can find to be thankful and grateful for that you realize others don't have. Maybe your partner is not perfect, but look at what they don't do and begin to appreciate the small, great things that they do. In the movie Bridget Jones' Diary, she is trying to explain to her Thai prison mates how her boyfriend mistreats her, because he ignored her at a dinner party and acted stuck up. They were concerned for her too, as they explained how their boyfriends beat them up, made them prostitute themselves and take drugs. Bridget then saw how she had been so upset at small things until she saw a bigger perspective. 54. Speed manifesting. 7 steps to abundance. Now L'Oreal Mitchell. Let's not focus on bad things in life, but still be aware of how great you have it. For me, it began with paying attention to the small things, so that I could begin to appreciate the huge things I had in my life, but were blocked out and eclipsed by my perspective, my judgments, my opinions, my disappointments and my expectations. What I realized was that nothing ever seemed enough for me. The moment I accomplished a task or an intention, I would be on to the next level. I was not stopping to enjoy the flowers along the way, and I thought I had to do it all myself. Looking for more is a natural part of outward, ever unfolding growth. You achieve, and then new desire is born within you. It isn't long before you have bigger dreams and intentions. That is the natural order of things. But still, be grateful continuously. Writing a gratitude journal daily will help focus your perspective. You could detail the things to come as if you already hold them and say to yourself, "Thank you for my perfect health and vitality, my calm and happy family life, my partner's love and support, my wonderful home, my caring parents." This principle of gratitude is life-changing, and if you only took this one step of feeling gratitude, your life would be joyful and satisfying. It is that powerful. Wake up with gratitude. Brush your teeth in gratitude. Be grateful throughout the day. Go to bed in gratitude of today and tomorrow. You will find your own personal journal included at the end of this book. Begin now, and miracles are sure to occur out of your gratitude. Joyous anticipation. Exercise your mental muscles and work out your imagination. Go through your list of desires and feel what it would be like to have them. Keep a manifestation journal daily and look at the previous entries to feel the gratitude for the things you have already received, big and small. Feel the joy and appreciation to the universe for the help you are getting always. Happiness is an inside job. The other side of gratitude is happiness. They are linked in a way that you need to experience to understand. Happiness becomes the starting point. Happiness is a choice. This is not an emotion of gratification or an electrochemical burst of endorphins in your brain. That is something else. Happiness is not a destination. Happiness is a state of being, and it is inextricably linked to gratitude. You feel blessed to be alive and humbled by the love and support of the universe and 55 the people around you. You see the beauty in all that is. You are not happy because of the beauty. You are happy and it gives you access to seeing the beauty of life through the eyes of gratitude. 56 Speed Manifesting. 7 Steps to Abundance. Now L'Oreal Mitchell Exercises. Step 3. 1. This week work on how you can shift your emotions quickly. Use your imagination to think of a happy memory, go to a favorite place, or look at a sunrise or sunset with appreciation. 2. Using the 4 areas of balanced wealth. List how you are grateful for what you have experienced already or can reach out and touch. Money, others, self, nature. 3. In your Speed Manifesting TM journal at the back of this book, list 3 things you are grateful for right now. 57. Review of 7 steps. Step 1. Know you want. Step 2. With emotion. Step 3. Feel. Step 4. Think deliberately. Step 5. Beware the power and poison of words. Step 6. Take action. Step 7. Start circulation. 58 Speed Manifesting. 7 Steps to Abundance. Now L'Oreal Mitchell. Step 4. Think deliberately. Every person has the natural and inherent power to think what he wants to think, but it requires far more effort to do so than it does to think the thoughts which are suggested by appearances. Wallace D. Wattles. What are you thinking? Scarcity and lack, or prosperity and abundance? Your words and your circumstances will let you know what you are thinking. You can be acting the same way as the person next to you and be in the opposite mindset. Jenny came to me for coaching because she knew that she wanted to be out of a scarcity mentality, and yet she believed very strongly in helping the environment and recycling what she used. Living in a drought region, she also needed to be aware of the water she used, but asked how it was possible to be socially responsible without getting into a scarcity mentality. I explained that I reuse water and practice recycling too. My mindset is not in scarcity, though. I told her that my thoughts on the same actions came from abundance and a joyful expression of respecting nature and the wish to increase its usage by enjoying it more than once. I am happy and grateful to the water as I pour my saved washing water into the garden. I am also happy and joyful when it rains. There is no lack, and the appreciation and expansion mindset creates more. Understanding human design. Deliberate thinking is a new mental muscle to exercise. It may take practice at first, but to take control of your thinking is to take control of your life. You have to begin by understanding how you are wired to think. Bob Proctor 5 teaches a simple, clear way of distinguishing and understanding the way we are put together, and how we interact with our design. He calls it the stick person and uses the 3-part psychology model of Dr. Thurman Fleet, including the conscious, the subconscious and the body. The ability you have to reveal and uncover your actual subconscious thinking will have a huge impact on your results in life. 59. Our experiences come in through our 5 senses to the conscious mind, and perception translates them into ideas. Once accepted, they get stored away in our subconscious memories. From then on, our subconscious acts out these stored beliefs and values through our body as actions, creating results in our world. Beyond your 5 senses, your thinking faculties have been honed to use your body with 5 physical senses of sight, hearing, smell, taste and touch. This is the representation of the seen world. The unseen world is just as relevant, and certainly nothing to do with hocus pocus or sorcery. The unseen is in our mental senses of perception, memory, reason, will, imagination and intuition, and as you begin to consciously develop these mental senses, you move to a higher level of awareness. Thinking zombies. Talent hits a target no one else can hit. Genius hits a target no one else can see. Arthur Schopenhauer. When you are in an automatic thinking mode, your actions and reactions are based from your subconscious mind. Habits and memories are used to bypass your conscious mind and allow you to handle more and more stimulus from your physical senses. This automatic part of your mind operates from the past, and you have trained it to perform many tasks, such as riding a bike or driving a car. When you forget to get involved in active deliberate thinking, you become a thinking zombie. As new information or a new experience is sensed, there is confusion and rejection from the subconscious. When you have a thought that you would like to change, or is not in the direction of your desires, tell your subconscious, give an order, say that's not true, and laugh, say next, or new thought please. You will need to distinguish thoughts before you can choose them or release them for another, more prosperous thought. Your conscious mind can then be free to move into awareness and apply perception, reason and will to decide an appropriate response as the new experience gets stored in your memory. In this way you can begin to tame your thoughts and create a new direction in your life as your thoughts obey your will. Your body obeys your thoughts in new behaviors, and your circumstances begin to respond. 60 Speed Manifesting. 7 Steps to Abundance. Now L'Oreal Mitchell. Chattering voice. Imagine that you hear a voice chattering to you all day, every day. Until this very moment you thought it was you, but it is not. It is something else. You cannot normally hear it distinguished separately as the sound of your voice. It sounds like you, but be aware of its power over you until now. It is the somber voice of your past, and it is recreating your past well into your future if you continue to associate yourself as it. Stop for a moment and listen to the voice. It is your opinions. It is your judgments of others and of yourself. It is asking questions, proclaiming its boredom, its dissatisfaction, its warnings and its condemnation of the world. In fact, this voice is a constant drone of noise and activity. It does not always stay inside. It is what often dribbles through to your speaking. You will recognize it when you realize that it is your automatic thoughts. It is your evaluation of everything around you. It is part of your self-worth concept. And it never seems to shut up. It sounds something like this: I agree with that. I don't agree with that. I wonder what time the game starts. Is there still time to get something to eat? Yes, I have heard all this before. I like that shirt. I wonder how much it costs. I can't afford that. When is this going to end? I just want to get out of here. Why do I always sit behind the tallest guy in the place? Why do I always end up near screaming kids? I have always been shy. Sometimes it comes out of your mouth, but mostly it stays in your mind. You can recognize it by the constant, almost non-stop noise. Try to separate that part of you, and set it on your shoulder, allowing it to go on, but being able to see that it is not really who you are. Thinking in this way is automatic, and it comes from your small mind with the big voice. It is not deliberate thinking, and you will shift your life by distinguishing what is real thinking. It creates your future, until you reclaim the power to create by placing yourself back in your driver's seat. This is the key to raising your awareness and living a conscious life. All your beliefs and worldviews will still exist, but being able to say thanks for your input and then choosing your own actions in the next moment could be a powerful new way of creating your life. Quiet voice. There is another voice to be heard. This is the silent nudge, the gentle inspiration, the clarity of a moment for what needs to be done. This voice is not loud, unless ignored at your peril. Tuning into your voice of the big mind of the universe is having an open circuit to feeling and guidance. 61 Meditation. Breathing is a critical way of receiving this clear thinking. Using intuition means you need to first open and receive the channel of communication. This comes through the small quiet voice. That voice can be best heard when you are still and in a state of no thinking. Every day that you meditate on your intentions can give you guidance from the universe. The third mind. The 5 physical senses represent the way you have been brought up to use your body. This bias has come from a world with a material scientific emphasis. The requirement of material, physical, proof for evidence of reality has been out of balance, and the result is the world we have created until now. Knowing the mental senses, or your intellectual faculties will raise your awareness of a non-physical, or unseen world to create from your thinking, and return the power away from the machine mind and back to us, as spiritual entities living in a physical and intellectual body. The third mind is the intelligent energy of the universe. It is the power behind aligning your thoughts for creating. It is the divine source, the heart chakra, the feeling mind, or the God within. It is experienced as faith, enthusiasm, joy, pure love, bliss, and true abundance. You can create using all the principles laid out here, but you will not be complete in your accomplishments. You will feel an empty glory if you have not caressed and folded this mind into your everyday thinking. You may have been disconnected from this mind because of the effect of being told untruths about what to believe, knowing it was not in your experience. You only need to ask for this relationship to be healed to connect again. Once you begin your personal conversation with the divine mind, you will understand what to do with your brilliant 5 physical senses, your body, and your incredible 6 mental senses, your intellectual mind. The perfect guidance will come from that which has been waiting to speak with you within. Your thinking is the base from which you create your life. It is the first thought through which all other thoughts and actions come. You build thought upon thought, and what a tangled web we weave. Would you like to untangle some of that web? Begin with awareness. Learn about your design and practice conscious, deliberate thinking to become a powerful thinker. 62 Speed Manifesting. 7 Steps to Abundance. Now L'Oreal Mitchell Exercises. Step 4. 1. What good things do you think about wealth and being rich? List all the positive thoughts that come to you about abundance and having a lot of money. 2. What thoughts do you have when you think about having more than most people? 3. List 3 new prosperous thoughts you would like to use. 63 Review of 7 steps. Step 1. Know what you. Step 2. With emotion. Step 3. Feel. Step 4. Deliberately. Step 5. Beware the power and poison of words. Step 6. Take action. Step 7. Start circulation. 64 Speed Manifesting. 7 Steps to Abundance. Now L'Oreal Mitchell. Step 5. Beware the power and poison of words. As you change your words, you change your world. As you improve your words, you improve your world. As you transform your words, you transform your world. Catherine Ponder. Open your mind to receive. Although actions speak louder than words, before they became words they had to start from a thought. As an extension of your thoughts, words give away what you are truly thinking, to you and everyone around you. If you listen to yourself, aligning your thoughts, words and actions consistently will contract your power of creating like a laser. Words create your reality. When someone asks you how you are, or what you thought of something, consider this: you are a creator, not a reporter. When you speak, your words are calling forth the next creation. Speak no evil has a basis in the understanding that when you complain or report the disagreeable portions of your current circumstances, you are voting to continue them. This is how you get stuck in an endless loop of circumstances. Stop and think about this before you switch into the reporting mode and choose your next reality by only speaking about things you want to continue. Combine this with gratitude, finding the good in your current circumstances, and you will see a pleasant stream of good things coming into your life as the old, unwanted parts drift away. Talking about what you don't want. In Australia where I live, I noticed that instead of saying you're welcome, many people say too easy. If you want life to get harder, would this be a way of telling the universe and your subconscious? Remember, it just takes orders, and repetition is the way to change. You may want to pay attention to and change what you say automatically in your general speaking too. When I was in my early 40s, I had a continuous anemia problem. I was so tired that I had to go to bed at 7 p.m. and I woke up tired at 7 a.m. the next morning. I spent 2 years being sick and tired. Once I regained my health and energy, I noticed how many people used that phrase sick and tired. Because it had been such an issue for me, I changed my automatic way of speaking and I never say that anymore. Now I am full of vitality and very thankful for it. So my words match my thoughts and feelings about my health as well as other areas of my life. Instead of 665, and tired I say that I have had enough of something I don't want to continue, then I use that to think of what I do want, and I can say that too. That takes the place of the automatic response, relates the thought and aligns my words with my wants. When Harry Potter got his friend and teacher Hagrid to say something he didn't want to say, he would walk away, usually saying I shouldn't have said that, I should not have said that. This is the way you can begin to retrain your speaking. Catching yourself and rejecting an unwanted thought through words is a way to turn back the saying. Affirmations. Vain repetitions are empty, powerless words. The feeling behind the word is what gives energy to the creation. Turn affirmations into your thankful prayer of gratitude. Use them as a tool to quickly change your state of mind. Release an unwanted thought and replace it with a more prosperous thought. If your affirmations feel like a lie, work on moving toward acceptance. If it makes you feel the lack or want, then you can look at what holds you back in your subconscious. Write them down or speak them out loud if you prefer. Once I heard of a man who had resistance to writing down his affirmations multiple times. When Jonathan did some exercises to reveal his subconscious thoughts, he realized that in school he was punished for speaking in class by writing 100 times "I will not talk in class." This experience held him back from accepting his written affirmations with a positive emotion, so instead he chose to speak his affirmations. Whichever way works better for you, just make sure your affirmations are in the form of thanks, and meaningful positive words repeated with thought and feeling. I am. The two most powerful words to start the power of creation are the words I am. In Conversations with God 6, Neil Donald Walsh explains that this sets in motion creation and draws experiences, calling forth energy so powerful that it is fast and furious in its manifestation. I once met a woman who had a friend with tattoos on his feet. One foot said "I am cold," and the other "Me too." After 2 years he had to get them removed because his feet were always intolerably cold. That was supposed to be a joke, but he found out the power of the word. 66 Speed manifesting. 7 steps to abundance. Now L'Oreal Mitchell, what do you habitually say after these words? I am. Too many people have picked up words from other people in their lives that diminish who they are. I am such a klutz. I am stupid. I am such a jerk. Twit. Whatever. These words sound so harsh, yet many people say them about themselves. Turn it around and use this powerful principle to create something great about yourself. We had a cat named Bounty for 16 years. She was named after a chocolate bar. We used to say Bounty, Bounty, Bounty 3 times as a fun way of calling our beloved pet. Our life was certainly bountiful when she was young and we were always calling her. Maybe my next pet will be called Goldie, because your subconscious hears words and takes them as an order. Words are creating the next move you make. Jokes and cliches are more powerful than you believe. In one of my classes a man was having many years of serious financial hardship. Joe had gone bankrupt, got divorced and lost everything. He had previously been very financially secure with a good business, but for 7 years he had not been able to come back from his financial crash. He was telling us how he was using the power of visualization and had printed a check from the universe and made it out to himself for $1 million. He had it on the fridge so he could look at it every day. Then he said, "The trouble is, every time I open the door it falls off and bounces." Joe thought that he was helping himself get through his hard times by laughing and making light of a difficult situation, but in fact his constant joking about his lack in many areas of his life was keeping him in scarcity. Your subconscious doesn't have a sense of humor, so it takes everything seriously as a request to be fulfilled. Like the genie in the bottle, have fun, laugh and be merry for the things that are joyful in life, not the things you do not wish to continue. Want in his book Working with the Law, author Raymond Hallowell explained this in the most concise and simple way I have ever heard. He says, "Don't expect what you don't want, and don't want what you don't expect." 7. This is how you get a self-fulfilling prophecy you don't expect. Raymond Hallowell. My husband and I were taking a scenic drive through the rolling hills near our home one day, and we found ourselves behind 2 trucks. Of course they had to slow down at the steep hills, and the diesel fumes were not pleasant. but we enjoyed the ride and focused on using the slower speed 267. Don't expect what you don't want, and don't look around. They eventually allowed us to pass and we continued on our way. As the journey took us longer than we expected and we needed to pick up our child at school, we began watching the time. We were making good time and there was no one ahead of us. Then my husband said, "At least we are not behind a truck." Being with this man for over 20 years, I knew better than to try coaching him just then, so I said nothing. Within 5 minutes, guess what we were traveling behind? It was a slow truck that we could not pass. That is speed manifesting TM. We had a laugh as he became aware of it and I suggested that he manifested out of his way too, and he did. Shortly after, keeping your word. Integrity to yourself means keeping all agreements you make with yourself and others. The universe is a reflection of you, so if you do not keep your time commitments and do what you say you are going to do, why would the universe? This integrity is about the power of the spoken word, not right and wrong. Demonstrate how you want the universe to deliver to you by showing it in keeping your word. I once heard it described that the Christ could manifest from matter because he was so complete in integrity. When he spoke, his word was so pure that even matter moved for him. Powerful words can help you create by being your bond. When giving your word as a promise, the word promise has a certain energy about it. When my mother spoke the words, I knew with certainty that it would happen. My sister and I had been moved 7 times during our primary school years, and when we got to high school my mother talked about moving again one day. My sister and I invited her to our bedroom and told her we wanted her to promise something to us. She looked amused and perplexed, and we asked her to promise that we would be able to stay at the same high school for 5 years. With a look of understanding and determination she said, "I promise." Then we knew we could be secure in the knowledge that she would do whatever was possible to keep us at that school. In the future, even when she looked at moving, she only contemplated homes within our school zone, and we were free to form friendships and commit to activities knowing we would be there throughout our high school years, all on the power of a word. In turning around my life, I made a promise to my 12-year-old that in 1 year we will have all the money we need. He needed braces for his teeth, and at that time even that looked impossible. I was selling excess belongings on eBay, and we had only just made the decision to sell our home. I had no idea how it was all going to happen, but with the strength of my word to my child, it gave me all the incentive I needed to make sure it happened, and the universe came to my side to give with abundance. His teeth are now straight and we were given all the ways we needed to keep that promise. 68 Speed Manifesting. 7 Steps to Abundance. Now L'Oreal Mitchell. Gossip is a conversation that undermines everything that goes around comes around, and it is more productive for your positive creating if you do not engage in gossip. If you would like to get out of negative influences around you but you are committed to being with work associates or family members who gossip, there are ways of handling it so that you are being positive and increasing the attraction of good things and people. The moment you get involved in a conversation that undermines, you could try these responses. That's interesting. Who could you talk to that can do something about it? Those around you. Only change yourself and you will find that your world changes. Words of encouragement and appreciation. Appreciation is not flattery. It is a true acknowledgement of the things you like and appreciate in another. We live in a desert of appreciation, and by speaking these words you can attract all manner of positive, helpful people to you. Make a habit of looking for something to appreciate and then express it. Encourage the greatness you see in another so they can start to see it for themselves. I once heard that we live inside a box, and the instructions to get out of the box are on the outside of the box. This may be a good illustration for why it is so easy to see the problems and solutions of others while we cannot see our own. I believe those instructions are written in the language of encouragement and appreciation. Practicing deliberate speaking is equivalent to putting on a smile to change your attitude. You are starting with the outside to affect the inside. Through words, this is one way to give yourself the awareness of your thoughts, and you can then choose to change within. Your desires are made manifest through your own experience of hearing yourself speak about them. and perhaps for the first time, hearing what desires you have. They led you from your desires as a transition into actions. The final step of creation 69. Will you excuse me please? You can support those around you even if you don't agree with them. It is not about changing exercises. Step 5. Practice deliberate speaking for 28 days in one of these two areas. Exercise 1. Stop swearing. First notice when you swear. Next find a funny word to quickly replace it, like sugar, or fudge. Lastly, by the end of the 28 days work on removing the word and replacing it with a breath or a pause until you are free from the habit. Exercise 2. Practice removing the word don't from your vocabulary. Replace it with what you do want. Each time you hear yourself saying don't forget can become simply, remember. 270. Speed manifesting. 7 steps to abundance. Now Lori L. Mitchell review of 7 steps. Step 1. What you want. Step 2. Imagine with. Step 3. Gratitude. Step 4. Think. Step 5. Beware the power and of words. Step 6. Take action. Step 7. Start circulation. 71. Step 6. Take action. Having vision is not enough. Change comes through realizing the vision and turning it into a reality. It is easy to espouse worthy goals, values and policies. The hard part is implementation. Sir Peter Blake. When you are living in a partnership of co-creating with the universe, the responsibilities are shared. Your part includes communicating where you are going, and getting busy to go in that direction. When my husband proposed to me, we were on a plane flying to Toronto, Canada to spend a snowy white Christmas with my family. We had already lived together for 3 years in New Zealand, and when we talked about the logistics of two families getting together over 12,000 miles or planning a wedding remotely, we realized that we were almost ready to elope. Luckily we decided to get married during that holiday. We had 10 days to plan the wedding and make all the arrangements during the busy Christmas holiday season. We got involved in some serious speed manifesting as we focused on our intention of the wedding. We wrote a list of everything we wanted and took each step one at a time. First we checked if we could get a marriage license. While we were at the town hall arranging that, we even met the mayor in the elevator. She was a lovely tiny elderly woman, and my husband thought she was the lift operator because she asked which floor we wanted. Once we arranged our marriage license, we organized a celebrant willing to marry us on New Year's Day, our chosen date. Then my husband hired a tuxedo and I found a dress. We bought our wedding rings and finally looked for a place for the ceremony. That was the only complicated step, as I had imagined having the ceremony in a beautiful public conservatory surrounded by flowers while it was -20 degrees Celsius outside, -4 degrees Fahrenheit. And the ground was thick with snow. We stayed firm in our intention and it worked out fine after a few phone calls to supervisors and making extra. 72. Speed manifesting. 7 steps to abundance. Now Lori L. Mitchell license payments. All this came together in the most amazing way, plus my family's arrangements to fly in from Chicago, Florida and Detroit at short notice. With 20 of our closest family and friends, we had a magical celebration, and we even got a surprise from my parents with a limo to take us back to the reception. I fulfilled my dream and got to wave to all sorts of surprise people as I stood up through the sunroof, just like in the movie Big with Tom Hanks. We were both calm and focused at each step, and we got help along the way. We had decided on the outcome and the rest were steps to be handled as we came across them. We didn't think of obstacles, only of our intention and our next actions. If you only write a list of your intentions and create a dream board, then lock yourself away in your room just to imagine and feel, you will be wondering what happened and why didn't I get what I asked for. If this law of attraction stuff really works, remember the story about the devoted believer who found himself caught in one of nature's tantrums. And as the storm grew worse, a policeman came by his house and offered to give him a ride out. The man said he was a true believer in God, and he knew that God would save him. A short time later he had to move to the roof of his house as a raging flood rose up. A man in a rowboat came by and offered him a lift. He said no thanks, God will save me. Then a helicopter came by, and tried to airlift him out, but he said no thanks, God will save me. The waters rose up, and finally he was consumed by the floods. He perished there, and when he got to heaven he demanded of God, "Why didn't you save me? I believed in you so much that I lost my life." And God replied, "What more do you want? I sent you a police car, a boat and a helicopter." Think of the co-creation partnership as an 80/20 rule, where you first do 20% and the universe does 80%. You decide, imagine, feel and get busy, without worrying about the right way to do things. As you get busy and move around in your life, meeting people, going places and accepting opportunities, you open the flow of life. The synchronicity of the universe then has many chances to deliver all that you ask and more. Since your actions make up 20% of the work, be aware that you are already activating your desires. Keep busy, make plans and follow through. Ask in thought, words and actions, and the universe will do its part, at least 80% of the work, all in perfect time. For many frustrated people, the action step is the place of highest resistance to all that you desire. Most turn away from their good year, and it is where only a few differences in your behavior will have an astounding effect on your results. 73 Thought is the blossom, language the bud, action the fruit behind it. Ralph Waldo Emerson. Creating a Vacuum. One of my favorite authors, Catherine Ponder, talks about the vacuum law of prosperity. It is such an easy and accessible action to take in bringing more into your life. Using the vacuum law of prosperity can speed your manifestation. My friends Earl and Geraldine decided that they wanted to use this principle, and so they sold their large bulky lounge suite on eBay. As it was being loaded and taken away, they were looking for another one on eBay. For $100 more they bought exactly what they wanted. It showed up once they moved the old lounge suite out. Where to begin? You can choose from this list to speed your results. Give away or sell clothes you haven't worn for a year. Move out large furniture too big for current room. Throw away any items that are broken or chipped. Release all that is unused, unrepaired or unwanted. This begins a circulation of energy that will allow more to come into your life. Orderly actions and inspired actions. You live in an orderly universe. The planets stay in perfect separate orbits, never colliding, and everything has its place. Your life can reflect this in a way that hastens attraction, removing the clutter of your mind, within, and around you, without, can surprisingly deliver in an astonishingly quick way. Be involved in orderly actions, like keeping a diary planner, writing out an action plan, completing a to-do list and contacting specific people. Carry out these tasks without attachment to them. Decide what to do, then act. Acting on plans in an orderly manner is following the perfect order of the universe. Give yourself 6 weeks to complete the following items, and you will find an unbelievable peace and calmness as you lift the negative energy and stress of incomplete tasks from your life. You will be able to find things easier, and you will be able to think more clearly. Clean up and organize desk, clean house, wash windows, weed garden, clean car, inside and out, get taxes up to date, clean and organize closet. 74 Speed manifesting. 7 steps to abundance. Now L'Oreal Mitchell. The ancient practice of Feng Shui reflects the Chinese knowledge and experience of order. Put simply, when your actions put your physical world in order, you are ready to receive. At first I thought Feng Shui 8 was about decluttering for a visual effect. As I used the principles further, I experienced immediate and undeniable results in several areas of my life. When I cleaned and organized my office, I was able to think more clearly, and I found that new opportunities came to me within a week. Combined with inspired actions that occur to you along the way, you have a powerful creative process occurring. When you are inspired to carry out your actions, everything will flow, doors will open for you, and people will come to you. You will have an idea of something to try or do next. There is no hurry, no forcing an outcome. You do not have to do it all yourself, so just focus on what seems like the next step, and carry it out without delay. Wallace Wattles was a philosopher and author of The Science of Getting Rich. He said that doing things in a certain way ensures the opening of more and more opportunities to flow toward you. When you do a thing, do it well and to the best of your ability, and make sure that your actions are enriching everyone around you. Think of increase while you plan each of your next intentions or actions. This way, when you increase, so do others, and this attitude of increase will be brought back to you because others know you to be a generous provider of the goods and services they seek. They will want to come back to you naturally. We decided to sell our home and move to Australia, so we contacted a real estate agent and put our house on the market. It was October and we always thought that was when our house looked the best and that it would sell quickly. As Christmas came closer and the house had no offers yet, the agent wanted to drop the price. We preferred to wait and decided to take it off the market and do some painting in the house. My husband spent the holidays painting one long hallway and we replaced some old spotlights with new updated fittings. This cost about $300 and it took about 2 weeks to paint. We put it on the market ourselves after Christmas for $45,000 more than the agent had listed it. We had open days every Saturday and Sunday from 12 p.m. to 3 p.m. We baked bread for the aroma and had classical music playing in the background. We also began to continuously think about all the things we loved about the house that someone else would enjoy. We stayed focused on releasing the home to someone else and visualized shaking hands with the happy new owners as we were free to move to another country in the place of our dreams. Our house sold for $40,000 more than the agent listed it and we didn't even have to pay his commission. 75 Assumptive actions to activate your feelings of already having your desires. You can use actions representing your faith that your intentions are coming. Ask yourself, what would I be doing now if I believed it was coming tomorrow? Then act as if. Begin talking to real estate agents or car dealers. Make appointments with lenders about mortgage requirements. Go to travel shows. Take before photos of your car, with the intention of seeing it beside the after photo of your dream car. Arrange insurance quotes for an intended item. If you are looking for a new relationship, instead of sleeping in the middle of your bed, sleep on one side and get 2 pillows. Clear out half your closet or bathroom cupboard. Make bookings or deposits in faith. When you have moved from hope, through faith, into knowing, show the universe that you expect your desired good by taking positive actions representing your ultimate outcome. Time integrity. Keep your appointments on time. Do the things you plan to do, and keep your word. Imagine that the universe is listening and waiting for your next step, so it can meet you along the way. What if the perfect person or circumstance is set in motion the moment you indicate your desire and your initial actions? Synchronicity is happening all around you. However, if you are habitually late, or changing your plans, consider that you may be slowing the receipt of your desires. What if circumstances were all set up to be at the right place at the right time, but you missed it because you did not keep to your plans? Use your intuition along with your orderly actions. Sometimes it will be imperative to be where you said you were going to be. Remember, the universe you experience is truly your universe. It is a reflection of you. If you relate to time inconsistently, why would the universe do anything but what you do? You are your own universe. Following an orderly way of living allows for straightforward delivery of your creations. If the universe knows where you are going, it can meet you on the way. The universe then sets in motion many circumstances, people and events to assist you. It is easy for the universe to deliver everything and anything you choose, just like Aladdin's genie in the bottle. When your deepest desires and fondest dreams come to you, will you be ready to accept them? You will need to use the power of synchronicity to work with the universe in receiving that which comes to you. 76 Speed Manifesting. 7 Steps to Abundance. Now L'Oreal Mitchell Exercises. Step 6. 1. What 5 actions can I take this week to further one of my intentions? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 2. Write 1 action step toward 1 intention each day in your diary this week, and do each one completely and on time. 77 Review of 7 steps. Step 1. Know what want. Step 2. Imagine with. Step 3. Gratitude. Step 4. Deliberately. Step 5. Beware the and poison of words. Step 6. Take. Step 7. Start circulation. 78 Speed Manifesting. 7 Steps to Abundance. Now L'Oreal Mitchell. Step 7. Start circulation. Remember, it is not the money you give, it is the idea back of the giving that is so vital. Raymond Holloman. Life exists through moving around in circulation. Air and water are fresh when circulating, and become stagnant when still for too long. Creating and attracting what you desire is not a bringing to you to hoard and keep. Rather, it is a bringing through you to continue moving onward and outward. Nothing is meant to stay still, and that includes the energy from money, people, things and ideas. Giving versus trading. The start circulation principle is something that is not part of our current worldview. If you can, take the current worldview, which is that we trade for everything, and suspend that, just while we play with this idea to see what comes out of it. Whether we talk about money, love, or health, they all can illustrate circulation with regard to manifesting. When we look at nature, what we see are systems in circulation flowing one way, all connecting back into many different systems. Call it the circle of life or the cycle of living, but we are all connected in all different ways. Nature doesn't flow in reverse. If we imagine water flowing, it flows one way. When it tries to flow two ways, like in rapids, it doesn't work very well. Nature is about abundant giving and allowing others to give, like the concept of paying it forward. Thomas Troward was an influential writer and lecturer in the early 1900s, and he said that we are divine centers of distribution. Your wealth is meant to be passed along. He says, life ultimately consists in circulation, whether within the physical body of the individual or on the scale of the entire solar system. And circulation means a continual flowing around, and the spirit of opulence is no exception to this universal law of all life. 79 Don't worry about how successful you'll be, don't worry about it. Focus on how significant you can be in service, and the success will take care of itself. Oprah Winfrey. When once this principle becomes clear to us, we shall see that our attention should be directed rather to the giving than the receiving. We must look upon ourselves, not as misers' chests to be kept locked for our own benefit, but as centers of distribution, and the better we fulfill our function as such centers, the greater will be the corresponding inflow. If we choke the outlet, the current must slacken, and a full and free flow can be obtained only by keeping it open. The spirit of opulence, the opulent mode of thought, that is consists in cultivating the feeling that we possess all sorts of riches which we can bestow upon others, and which we can bestow liberally, because by this very action we open the way for still greater supplies to flow in. 9 An ancient story shares this wisdom. There was a man who was shown the doors of heaven and hell. When the door of hell was opened, he saw a strangely horrifying scene. Through the door was a room filled with people chained to chairs around a large pot of steaming stew. They were gaunt, thin and starving. The aroma of the delicious stew filled the room. They each had a soup spoon with a long handle, long enough to get to the pot in front of them. The man noticed that even though they could reach the pot, their elbows had been locked, so they would only spill it when they tried to eat. There was an endless amount of crying, thrashing and groaning. Next, the man was taken to the room labeled heaven. Although the room was set up exactly the same as the previous one, the people were different. There in the middle of the room was the same pot of delicious stew. Around it the people were all chained to their chairs. They each had a long-handled spoon. Their elbows were locked. At first the man was confused. He was looking at the same room, but the people in it were happy, singing and well-fed. It was then that he noticed someone reaching into the pot with their spoon. He followed the spoon and watched as he realized that they were all feeding each other. To start a circulation system and go with the flow is to increase the abundance for everyone and for yourself by giving. It is possible to give without analyzing and saying, if I do this, am I going to get something back? Consider that maybe there's a different way. What we can do is give value of ourselves, giving more in terms of use value than we actually receive in cash value, but disconnect the two. Give, in your strengths, and give as much as you feel. Then have the mechanisms set up, such as a paying job, or a business for other people to give to you for the value, because it's about everybody giving. I know this sounds naive from the perspective of a trading worldview, but it's a different way of thinking, isn't it? In manifesting, creating, and bringing more into your life, you have to unhook the idea of giving to get, to create more in our lives. Following the way life works, you give first, but it's not give in order to get. The ancient practice of tithing is about giving with the thought that you know you can give because the universe provides abundance for you. It is not a trade. 80 Speed Manifesting 7 Steps to Abundance. Now, L'Oreal Mitchell. There may have been times in our lives where we felt that we were our own best charity and that we didn't have enough to give, or we'd love to give but we are waiting until we get successful or wealthy, and then we'll start giving hugely. Tithing is a percentage, and its original meaning comes from the word tenth. So no matter what you have, 10% of what comes to you immediately goes back out in tithing. The way you choose to circulate that is up to you. It's great if you can actually circulate the money to increase the abundance of something that you love in the world. Tithing is not giving to charities that perpetuate circumstances that you have an issue with. We all have our different preferences for donations, but Wallace Wattles writes very specifically about not giving to charities. In these days we have a different definition of the word charity than in his day. When he wrote over 100 years ago, a charity was only to give relief from poverty. For us, charitable donations and charities are about money flowing to lots of different places. Within that definition, we need to open it up and make sure that where you choose to give follows universal law, which says that what you focus on grows. Where you give your money, grows. So to apply this principle, choose to give somewhere that is either a spiritual upliftment, or it's something that you're positively passionate about that you know is adding to the abundance of the world. You never change things by fighting the existing reality. To change something, build a new model that makes the existing model obsolete. Buckminster Fuller added to this by saying, you never change things by fighting the existing reality. To change something, build a new model that makes the existing model obsolete. This is a different perspective on how we can direct our giving and creating. I believe that that's where we are heading, and it's the consciousness that is awakening on this planet. As we realize that there are things that are broken that need to be fixed, I believe the next step is to move into Buckminster Fuller's model, and start looking toward a new future, rather than fixing the old one, and the old one will drop away. When you understand how creating abundance works and directing the energy of money or your time to something, choose something that's going to make what you don't like obsolete, without focusing on whatever's broken. However, if there is someone in front of you that needs relief and you feel your heart going out to them, follow your heart. In that moment it's appropriate to just be giving. Do not struggle with this isn't right and I shouldn't, because that's perpetuating something. In a moment of making a difference in someone's life, please make a difference in someone's life. But if you're intentional in your long-term thinking, and you're moving toward a world where the idea of someone needing 81 relief is gone, then your regular, systematic donations can be useful for something that grows a new model for people. You circulate wealth by giving, but you must follow that by accepting gifts and help. This becomes the evidence of your ability to create ongoing wealth in all areas of your life. Your ability to serve, give more value than you take and accept service from others joyfully will determine whether you are able to continue creating powerfully by continuing the divine circulation of money energy. Refusing money when people offer to pay you or telling people off for buying you a gift, you shouldn't have done that, robs them of the pleasure and satisfaction of giving. When you buy something or hire someone for a service, you are also giving and adding to the circulation. You need to give, but you also need to practice receiving and accepting if you wish to increase that inflow. It is not your place to decide whether or not this is the way you want it to come, as long as it is within your own value system. If someone wants to buy you lunch, don't argue, be gracious, and thank people for their giving. Use and appreciate the money or the gift by putting it to use to prime the pump for the flow of life. The point is, flow your money, let it go out, let it come in, and let it go out again. Make some room in your life for more to come in, then allow some sort of mechanism for accepting from other people as they give to you. Remember to detach that from giving in order to get. Trading for love. Applying this principle doesn't have to be exclusively money. Starting circulation is a principle that gives a different experience of life if you apply it to everything. Whether you're doing your garden, whether you are interacting with people, or whether giving your love, you can impact your relationships by releasing the hidden belief, if I love someone then they'll love me back. By unlearning this limited trading belief, you open up the freedom to express yourself fully. We've been unconsciously trained to trade. We've observed everyone around us and it just seems like it's the way life works. In actual fact, it's not the way life works. It's just the way we are behaving based on our current beliefs, and we get some results from it. So, it's not about, if I love someone then they'll love me more, and it's useful not to have an expectation and attachment to trading, especially in our relationships. In giving unconditional love from yourself, your results may be different than if you trade love. Some people need much more love than they are giving. Perhaps your contribution to them is in giving when they are not giving back to anyone else. A smile or some kindness to someone who doesn't deserve it can be life-changing for them and for you. Now be aware that there is 82 speed manifesting. 7 steps to abundance. Now L'Oreal Mitchell. Difference between giving and being taken. Nobody is asking anybody to be a martyr, or to do things that you don't want to do. This is about living where your heart sings, giving on one side, and having faith on the other side. Instead of expectation, give, and if you do not want to give anymore in that area, don't give anymore. Make a choice and move on. Circulating with people and ideas. Part of the start circulation principle is to share ideas, give and get support for your manifesting. Gather a group of like-minded people together and create a mastermind. Napoleon Hill wrote of this principle at length and defines the mastermind as an alliance of 2 or more minds blended in a spirit of perfect harmony and company, operating for the attainment of a definite purpose. 10. To go it alone is rarely successful in any endeavor. You will need a team of 8-10 people who meets on a regular basis in a structured manner for the mutual benefit and support toward everyone's purpose, and your success is built on this. You will get help from their different perspectives and your actions can be kept on track toward your ultimate intentions. They will know methods as well as people to contact for the next step, or to help solve a problem, or to suggest how to go around an obstacle. They are outside your box, and they can help you to emerge from your own limits because they have that different viewpoint. In an orderly format you will meet, share your wins and your wants and needs, and give your knowledge and experience. The power of the mastermind will astound you as you move forward in life. Good steward of money. Have you heard stories about people winning the lottery, only to be worse off in 5 years? To keep your abundance flowing you must first prove yourself as a good steward of wealth, at any level, with a systematic way to relate to your incomes and outgoings. When you manage and circulate money you move into a flow that allows the universe to work with you. You call it forth and direct it. In its proper place money is your servant. To master the flow of abundance you will need to set up a pattern that will already be in place no matter what your level of financial wealth. Get into a habit of purposefully flowing your income and make sure that you allow it to go out as increased to others. This doesn't mean giving away all that comes to you, as well. Use it for increase to yourself to balance your sharing, spending and saving in bountiful proportions. 83. Consider the basis for all your efforts to be to provide huge value in whatever you are doing at each step of the way. Wallace Wattles says, if every act of your life is an efficient one, your whole life must be a success. See that you give others a use value greater than the cash value you are taking from them. Compete or create? The current worldview based on trading and competition implies that there is only a limited amount to go around. We show up at work every day, and we seem to be trading. However, that is only a point of view. That is a belief system, and it is a useful belief system based on being in this world. But beliefs are changeable. That is what we have already discovered. When you focus on your power as a co-creator you step into the creative mindset. Using this to advance everyone means that when you create in order to grow yourself, everyone else benefits. Thus you step forward and concurrently bring the flow forward for everyone. The idea behind everything that you're doing then becomes based on stepping into faith and living your purpose, not always looking behind to see what's coming for you. Circulation frees you from that. You can do this in the business world, you can do this in the scientific world, you can do it in the artistic world, you can do it at home in your family life. It's all just energy. After years of studying the laws of the universe and working through so many principles, I had an insight that seems obvious, but for me was a journey. I knew that everything in the universe is energy. Early in my journey I saw the movie What the Bleep Do We Know, and I understood more about the science behind the constant energy that makes us. But one day I was using a wonderful technique for releasing negative energy in my body, and I was told that it was all just energy. It clicked. The labels that I needed to use to find the physical manifestation of negative energy in my body suddenly become just a front for a huge variety of differentiated energy. Fear, anger, frustration all became at one instant just energy. This distinction removed the power any of those emotions had over me. From that moment on, I could walk around releasing any energy I felt in any moment. Whether I could find a label for it or not, I could release it then and there. The start circulation principle includes the basic clumping of the energy that is I, moving the energy of I around. Releasing and renewing yourself allows the I am within you to be. It's so much easier to give of yourself when you're not holding on, and when you're on purpose. So if you've hooked into your life purpose, whether it might be finished in this lifetime or not, you're working on it because it's your passion. It's great to be on purpose and to let go of actually working for money. On the other side of it, looking at our beliefs about accepting, and our beliefs 84 Speed Manifesting. 7 Steps to Abundance. Now Lori L. Mitchell about how other people give to us, and how we allow new energy in our life, is the other part of the start circulation principle. It's not about getting money. If you are on purpose, it truly is not. You will find that all is abundantly provided for you and more when you live your life this way. 85 Exercises. Step 7 1. How would my behavior change if I started circulation in my life, instead of trading? 2. Which is easier for me, to give or to receive? Why? 3. In the past, have I ever found that gifts had obligations attached to them? If so, what new beliefs can I create about giving and receiving freely from now on? 4. What areas of my life might be impacted by giving without attachment? 86 Speed Manifesting. 7 Steps to Abundance. Now Lori L. Mitchell review of 7 steps. Step 1. Know what you. Step 2. With emotion. Step 3. Feel. Step 4. Think. Step 5. Beware the power and poison of. Step 6. Action. Step 7. Start. 87 Alignment. 2. Now you cannot go to where you already are. To do that you would have to leave where you are. The irony is that most people think they have to leave where they are to get to where they want to be. Conversations with God. Neil Donald Walsh. The 7 Steps to Abundance are very practical for the process of manifesting. Once you master them, you will find an ease and flow about creating your desires in life, even though you still need to use all of the 7 steps as a checklist and to live the principles. There is one catalyst which is the key to speed. With this transformational key, you are suddenly able to manifest at a speed that may astound and surprise you. The transmutation into speed involves the concept of alignment, but it has a paradox in it, and people are not necessarily skilled in holding and living paradoxes, so we generally stay in one concept of reality. We are not practiced at having 2 viewpoints or possibilities about life at the same time. Alignment of thoughts, words, actions. The first part of alignment involves aligning your thoughts, your words and your actions in a way that makes them all work together and much more powerful. Your actions come from your thoughts, your words come from your thoughts. Work on listening to your thinking by hearing your words as they come to you. Your outside world reflects your inner world. Use your outside world to raise your awareness level of your silent subconscious thinking. You are the creator of your life and of your next manifestations. You are in charge of your life. If you begin to distinguish the voice of your past and take new orders from a new you, It is as simple as setting your intention, then living congruent with that intention in all your thoughts, words and actions. 88 Speed Manifesting, 7 Steps to Abundance. Now L'Oreal Mitchell. Your turning point to speed manifesting TM. The other critical part is alignment. To now, align yourself to what you currently perceive as somewhere or sometime other than where you are. This creates speed in the shift to manifesting very, very quickly. The idea of time is one that was made up at some point in our distant history. First of all, I want to cover this concept of time and then start talking about how we use it to change our results. In this conversation, what you really need to do is listen from a place where you're still in the reality of the current worldview and the current concept of time. I would also like you to take one toe and put it in a new reality. I need you to contemplate what it would be like if you lived on another planet, in another place where they didn't have a concept of time. This is not logical and it doesn't fit with how we currently live our lives. Almost all of us have been brought up to believe in a linear concept of time. I know it is a belief because of observing my youngest son, who at 10 years old still doesn't understand the concept of last week, this week and tomorrow. It's fascinating to me, because in actual fact he's not wrong. It's still important that he learns the way we relate to our agreements with people so that we are able to meet them someplace at a specific time, but it's not real. Linear time labels the past and the present and the future. We've carved ourselves up into pieces and called some of those pieces the past, and some of those pieces the future, and then the present is what people assume is now. What I'd like to suggest is something different. This is what I referred to as the key earlier in the introduction. This conceptual idea is something that is limiting to speak of in words, but you have to consider it, contemplate it and try it out from a different perspective. It's not a logical perspective. It is a now that is not the present. I'm not talking about a now that excludes the past and the future. Imagine you live in a house with 3 rooms next to each other. One room is your past, one room is your present and one room is your future. Next, remove the walls. Now you have one long room, and all of the compartmentalization disappears. With this one room you can go wherever you want to, and you have the past and the future as now. Think of time this way: to shift from linear to the now as the whole house with past, present, future, and at the same. The test of a first-rate intelligence is the ability to hold 2 opposed ideas in the mind at the same time, and still retain the ability to function. F. Scott Fitzgerald. 89 Time being now, rather than time as a sequence of moments starting from the left and streaming to the right in a line. It's a possibility that we could look at time as this big house, and now is the past, now is the future. All of those constructs of time actually exist in your perception. Those constructs of the past are memories, and those constructs of the future are imagination. It's all now, but your mind perceives them in different ways. Once you have this image of your house when you've removed all the walls and the past and present are still there, next, move yourself into it. Take off the sunglasses, your filters and your beliefs as you stand in that house that has no walls. Is that freeing? Our desires have then become something that we already have. So if we are standing in only one place always, there's nowhere to go and there's nothing that you have to stretch after to have, because you already have it the moment that you desire it. In that place, everything is now, everything is already here in this moment. It's just in a different construct of your mind. Whether it's your memory or whether it's your imagination, it's all still a part of you now. You have an opportunity to pull those carved up pieces of yourself and bring them together, bring them into a place where you use the imaginative holographic place of your mind. You accept your daydreams as now. This is the key. When you can accept your mental pictures as truly existing in the same space as you, they show up. They pop with such ferocity that they startle you, pleasantly, like the night I saw how speed manifesting TN works, and burst into tears at the real image of my teammates around a table, exactly as I had visually imagined it a few hours before. Just like simmering water changing state from liquid to gas, your desires exist in a different state, ready to boil. moving to bubble spoiling and popping into the next physical manifestation, into form and out of form and later, back into form. When you ask where is my desire, well, you've carved it up and pushed it away. By asking, you delay it needlessly. In actual fact, all you need to do is realign yourself with your desires in the now, now as an acceptance and completeness, rather than now as a construct of linear time. This whole idea of being out of alignment in speed manifesting TM is about being out of alignment with your desires because you've separated from it. We've been taught, we've been shown, we've lived it, we've breathed it, and so it feels real. The paradox of speed manifesting TM, even though we just redefined the concept of time within this discussion, the paradox is that you need a deadline within linear time to create quickly. You need a sense of urgency about the power of your decision to create, and you do this by relating to the calendar with urgency, yet non-90 speed manifesting. 7 Steps to Abundance. Now L'Oreal Mitchell attachment. That is an absolute paradox within this concept of now, so you must put a date, an immovable deadline on your intentions, and then hit that be now. Then you must let go of any hold on yearning and wanting to receive your desires. Stay calm, focused and floating separately in time. This is when your beingness comes into play. Be happy, be still, be sure. That is why I suggested the meditation in step 2, where you take yourself into your far future, look back at having achieved your intentions already, way in the past, and imagine with the satisfaction of that emotional state, that was still more about using the concept of now. The key to doing that is to know that your desires are in the now, and the only thing that's not in the now is you, because you believe it in a different way, because your concept of the world is past present, past present, past present, past present. But have you ever been running late for something, and yet you were calm about it, and then you ended up, somehow, on time, even though it was almost impossible, based on traffic and time and speed and distance? You showed up on time. Einstein said his concept of time was that it was like a balloon and you could create more of it. How does that fit in with linear time? It doesn't. So perhaps it's possible that we may look at things differently. You still have to keep one foot in the current reality of past, present, future, because it's what the world uses, and so it's a good, strong basis for the reality that we live in, and for you to relate to everyone else. When we try on new and revolutionary concepts in our life, we can't relate to the people around us if we don't keep at least one foot in the current reality. But we can also hold a new concept in one hand, look at it, try it out and contemplate it. That's the word, contemplate, because this is not going to come from your logic. Logic is the part of you that draws from the past, but it also prefers linear. Logic only understands this, the next, all connected. Logic deems that the past equals the future. New thought comes from reason and intuition combined with perception. You have to find this truth from contemplation, from considering and looking around at this unusual concept. In the introduction to Speed Manifesting TM, I asked you to watch for it. Here it is. Bring yourself into the now. It's all now. There is no someday. Your past and your present and your future. These are all happening now. Align yourself with now. Stop carving yourself up into these segments that are holding you back as you consider your desires being someplace else, which we also call the future, or someday. Those are made-up perceptions. Your desires are inside, in your heart. They are not out there in some existence called the future somewhere. They're already here. And you just have to remove the false walls and align yourself and your heart with them in your thinking and feeling, and live your life that way. 91. Then, when you get intentional about life and you know what you want, you can see and feel it, and you live in constant gratitude, and you understand about giving versus trading, and giving value, and allowing other people to give, then yours becomes a different world. This is an advanced manifesting course. Alignment is conceptual, and to get to Speed Manifesting TM as a natural part of life, use gratitude and advocate the alignment to now and bring your heart to now. So the invitation is for you to become aware of what now really means and allow speed manifesting TM to occur. Your desires and intentions are within you. You feel and experience them when you just know it's already here now. Then you get to experience them in your life. Your manifestations are here. It's just a matter of time before you can see, feel and touch them. 92 Speed Manifesting 7 Steps to Abundance. Now L'Oreal Mitchell. Exercises 1. Practice being in 2 times at once by going to a local street where there is an occasional street festival. While you are there in normal times, imagine it full of people and blocked off from cars. Imagine the colors, the smells, the sounds. Keep your eyes open the entire time as you imagine this. Congratulations, you have just practiced the paradox of 2 times at once. Can you accept your future that way too? Once you begin to have moments like this about your new life, you are incredibly close to allowing it to pop into your life too. Go out and manifest the items on the list below or choose your own list, using the 7 steps. Give yourself a specific time frame such as an hour, a day or a week. Meditate on it and hold the image with the emotional state that it has already happened. Be grateful. Align your thoughts, words and actions. Get circulating with people, ideas or money. Red book, blue butterfly, surfboard, bouquet of flowers. Unusual words such as meow, happy call from a friend, rainbow hat. Remember to go out looking for these things with joyous anticipation in your now. 3. Write below what thoughts and feelings you had before and after completing this exercise. Repeat the exercise with different items to improve your manifesting results. 4. Next, consider that it is only a game, so is life. Now go play. 93 Section 3. When is it going to happen? When you understand the process of speed manifesting TM and you think you are doing everything, a few stumbling blocks may seem to appear to be a denial of your manifestation. Remember that delay does not mean denial. Gestation. Just as every seed planted in the earth has a different time of gestation or incubation before it appears above the soil, so does the process of your creating. Once you have completed the steps and are waiting for your manifestation to show, remember to focus on the outcome and appreciate each movement in the right direction. Remember to accept time as now and know that every occurrence is already allowing your desires. If it appears as though your efforts are being thwarted, be patient and stay calm. Understand that you are being guided by an unseen hand and you may not realize that the events are unfolding just as they need to give you what you desire or better. When you give the universe new instructions and it begins to turn your life in a new direction, sometimes it is more like turning a luxury cruise ship rather than a bicycle. Stay on your path and stay focused on imagining with emotion. Remember the impatient farmer? He pulled up a few of the plants before they were ripe to see how the roots were growing, and then frustrated for the lack of harvest he abandoned the care of his entire field. Look for small signs that your tide is turning and stay in gratitude to the source. When the ocean explorers of the past sailed to a new continent, they knew to watch for signs that they were getting close to land. As twigs appeared floating on the water, and as birds appeared in the sky, they knew their long journey was close to completion. Look for your twigs and birds, which may look like additional income in small amounts, unusual help from unexpected sources, gifts, or events coming together out of the blue. Sometimes you feel it as a quickening, a sense that things are picking up speed. Be joyful in your anticipation that the results are beginning to show. 94. Speed Manifesting 7 Steps to Abundance. Now L'Oreal Mitchell. Fear. If you could believe that anything was possible, what could you create? What may be stopping you is fear. Fear of failing, fear of looking silly, fear of losing, fear of making mistakes, and fear of not knowing what to do. Fear is the killer emotion. Do not underestimate its danger to your wealth and your health. Think about what stops you. Can you begin to see the old beliefs and their power over you? The opposite of fear is faith. When your faith in these manifesting principles builds, it comes from your choices, not your beliefs. So fear disappears. Like switching on a light, the darkness is no longer there. You will need to build your faith through experiencing your own power of creating. The final part of using faith and releasing fear is surrender. This is surrendering to go with the flow of life, instead of fighting the current. Releasing fear is a choice, and you find your way by building your faith starting right now, day by day. It is a place where you step over the line knowing it will work out. If you still fear it may not work out, then you are not ready to go. When your desire is greater than your fear, you will be ready to take the next step, whatever it may be. You will know it when you are ready. Disbelief out of fear comes a habitual way of thinking. You may have already released the fear and replaced fearful thoughts and beliefs with gratitude for the good you have, but what may remain is a habit of dismissiveness from disbelief. Limiting beliefs come from our observations based on past circumstances. This can slow us down in our receiving, as we judge whether or not our desires will be received based on nearing the firm deadline we set in order to create the urgency. But the way to walk through this obstacle is to simply suspend your disbelief, become the observer and hold your desire without attachment to the result as you near or pass through your deadline date. Most of us have heard of the saying the 11th hour. To us it implies a deliverance or rescue beyond when all hope was lost. Hold true to your intentions regardless of circumstances. Stay firm in your absolute insistence on your intention. It is here. You just need to hold through the resistance. You do not have to believe in something for it to happen through universal laws. Just don't disbelieve it. It gives extra energy to your creations when you add that strong belief. But your manifestations come into existence in your allowing instead of resisting them. Notice whether you are saying no automatically, and try saying yes before thinking about it. See what difference that makes in your life. Use a day or two to experiment with this. When someone asks you if you want something, say yes whether you want it or not. Don't think about it. You may get some zany results, but it will be a different day for you. Break the habit of saying no and see what shows up when you use the opposite automatic response. If you find that you don't say no very often, just notice whether you are pleasing yourself or trying to please others. 95. Enjoy this new awareness, and watch what happens. Life changes when you change. Sometimes it is as simple as changing your automatic reactions. Resistance. Your desired good may be staring you in the face, but your resistance may be the only barrier to you receiving all that you want. Becoming aware of your resistance and choosing to allow more into your life will open up more abundance quickly. My son was 13 years old when he saw The Secret for the first time, and like many young people, he understood the principles and began practicing them immediately. He got very excited about being able to get whatever he wants, and like many people, the first thing he wanted to acquire was stuff. He wanted his own mobile phone, and so he looked through catalogs and found the exact model he wanted. He posted the picture with all the specifications on his wall, and then happily pondered how he might acquire it. His belief that he could manifest was from watching The Secret, so with anticipation he watched for a way to get it. In 2 days he came to me and said he just had an idea of how he could get it. He explained that if we signed up for a 2-year phone contract, then he could get a free phone, using half his monthly allowance to pay for the monthly bill. All he needed was our agreement to do that and the phone could be his. We were delighted that he had progressed so well and his plan was a good one. That weekend we went to a shopping mall so he could see the phones and confirm his choice. He confirmed that the $750 phone was the one he wanted, but then he began acting strangely. He looked at them and then said he was ready to go home. Surprised, I asked why he didn't want to get it right then. He became tense and agitated and I asked him what was stopping him. He told me that he was concerned about his father telling him that he should wait and get a better deal or better technology, even though his father was right there, encouraging him to go for it. My son resisted. I suggested that maybe the idea of more caution would apply to some other purchase, but it didn't for this one. I asked that he consider what he wants, not what other people think, and then let him think it through as we continued shopping. He realized that he was really happy with his choice and we helped him arrange the purchase. It has been a great phone and his payment plan works perfectly. He manifested the phone in what might be considered an ordinary way, but for a 13-year-old, it was a huge creation in only a few days. It was only his temporary resistance based on a belief that almost stopped him. Now he uses this process to manifest his other desires, like a job, the lead role in a school play, and a new computer. 96 Speed Manifesting. 7 Steps to Abundance. Now Lori L. Mitchell. When you raise your level of awareness, you can move past your resistance from previous beliefs, the shoulds and should nots of life, and easily accept the creations you have beautifully manifested. Manage disappointment. Have you ever been specifically taught to manage your disappointments? Many people miss this important lesson from families, culture or careers and instead get left with the bad feelings. Many parents want their children to avoid disappointment, so they show them how to aim low and not fall so far. If there was no other way, this would be a loving thing to do, but this comes from the perspective that mistakes are bad. Actually, to succeed in life you must learn to manage your disappointments and learn from your mistakes. In hindsight, my downward spiral of bad thinking began in my 30s because I was new to business management and made some mistakes, but didn't know how to put them in perspective. I began to think less of myself and judged myself as less adequate. I had made some decisions that didn't seem to work out because of my youthful lack of business experience. My best teacher was a manager who told me that if you are not making any mistakes, you are not trying hard enough. Previous to this, I rarely made big mistakes in my life, because I was so cautious that I avoided making big decisions. Now, when my children make a mistake, I ask them, what would you do differently next time and what have you learned? It is important for them and us to know that to live and to learn is to make mistakes, and especially that if it doesn't work one way, try another and another until you succeed. On the other hand, sometimes things happen that you view as totally the opposite to your desired creations. Managing your disappointment at this critical time can help you to build your faith that things actually do work out for the best. When we arranged to move to Australia, we chose an independent school for our children. We flew them over from New Zealand for school interviews before we moved, and we purchased a home 10 minutes from the school. After packing up and leaving New Zealand, I visited my mother in Canada for 3 weeks. While we were there, we were notified that my son had not been accepted at the school as they felt they didn't have the resourcing to support his additional learning needs. Needless to say, I was devastated. My disappointment was so great, and yet since I knew how the universe works, I said to myself, there must be a good reason for this. I managed my disappointment and my emotions, and waited in faith for the answer. I reviewed what I really wanted and realized that it was for my son to get great support at school and to be happy, not just to go to that particular school. Weeks later, when we arrived in Australia and enrolled our children in the local state school, we found that it 97 had one of the best special education units in the area. So my son is getting better support, and we also did not have to pay $1,800 per term for the schooling. I thought I knew best, but when circumstances looked like they were taking us further away from our desires, I let go and let God and released my attachment to the exact outcome in faith that it works out for the best, always. My faith builds even more each time I go with the flow. When unexpected or confusing results happen, I reconfirm that my desires are clear and I am focusing on the end result, not the process. So, it is vital that you manage your disappointments and make sure you have asked for what you want, and then get out of the way for the universe to do its incredible, perfect work. Self-image. Who do you see yourself to be? What image do you hold in your subconscious mind? To move forward, you must have a healthy picture of yourself as a winner in life. If you have built an image that is limited and below what you realize you desire, then you need to work on seeing yourself as success in your mind's eye. After I turned 40, I began to notice all sorts of articles in papers and magazines about how difficult it was for over 40s to get jobs or be recognized. Somehow I accepted this information, coupled with the unhealthy view that I had made too many business mistakes. Unconsciously I developed what I called a loser's image. To succeed, you must have your own winner's image, but sometimes you'll have to find it within someone else that you admire, and become an apprentice. Find yourself a mentor or someone you admire, and read their biography. Picture yourself as their protege and emulate them. This is a simple and powerful way of pulling yourself along, and it will guide you ever higher, and remove any ceiling to accomplishing your intentions. Practice seeing yourself as your ideal person and you will arrive sooner than you could possibly imagine. Where there is a villain, there is a victim. When you are criticizing, condemning or complaining about anything, you are making yourself into a victim. This is different from being victimized by someone else. Self-victimization becomes a habit out of an environment or cultural teaching. If you find that you are oversensitive, that is a clue that you are self-victimizing. Almost all of my life I have been oversensitive. Then I saw how this was a way of self-victimizing, and I was able to step back and not get drawn into my own emotions. I was able to look at a circumstance and more objectively see that my principles either lined up or didn't. Now I can choose my response appropriately, and usually in a more constructive and powerful way, removing your automatic reaction to what other people say or do, and being able to observe without reaction is a good way to avoid making yourself into a victim. Be careful of why me questions, as they put 98 Speed Manifesting 7 Steps to Abundance Now L'Oreal Mitchell you into a poor me self-victimizing perspective. Being aware of this will give you the opportunity to release it and focus on what you want and what you are going to do next. Ask more powerful and problem-solving questions like, how can I make this better, or what is the good in this, or what can I learn from this? Comparing yourself to others and what they have or what they accomplish is another way of self-victimization, and it is a form of coveting. When something happens and it does not feel good, consider what you were thinking about. Look for the good in it and move on. Don't get stuck in the emotions. Give yourself permission to learn and grow. Let go of old emotions. Let go of old hurts. Let go of old energy. It is all just energy. Let it go. It is not worth giving up so much of your potential in life. It is not worth losing the possibility of a new future. Remember, every day is a new day. Start it that way and begin to release the old energy of holding on to resentments, anger, fear and frustration. I will say it again, it is all just energy. Choose to let the old go and release the labels that are crushing you under the weight of your own resistance. You cannot accept more into your life while you have two clenched fists. Open up your energy, release and create a vacuum for prosperity, goodness and love to come into your life. Those energy vibrations result in health, wealth and happiness. Forgive others and forgive yourself. Be happy, you deserve it. The awareness will allow you to choose freedom from self-victimization. Our culture glorifies victimhood, and so much of our heroic stories are based on the redemption of the victim. Be free to live your life from your choices, not from your past. Free yourself from blaming others for your present circumstances and you will reclaim your future and redeem your past, whatever it may have been. Bad company. If you are around negative or destructive people, get away from them. They can become dream stealers, telling you what you cannot achieve. If it is your family, then you could go less often and leave a little sooner. If you live in this environment, you could take more holidays, have weekends away or in the moment, just a walk around the block. You cannot truly change another human being, so change yourself. Choose to change your reaction to your personal environment and you will change your world. Find caring, tolerant people who don't judge you by your current circumstances and who can see the possibilities within you. Join a like-minded club that understands and lives these principles. 99 Responsibility or blame. One of the greatest lessons toward ultimate freedom in life is to understand how to take responsibility for everything that happens to you without blame to yourself or to others. People around you make mistakes. You make mistakes. The circumstances of your life up until now perhaps have been without the awareness of deliberate creating. If you have had bad circumstances, you may resist accepting that you have drawn those to you. By default, thinking and misunderstanding the power you have within you to create, you may have created things that you didn't want in your life. The freedom is in the realization that you can create good things in your life, and attract those things through training and practice until you finally have the amazing life that is your birthright. By releasing the fault finding and moving on to claim this power, you have turned a corner. Each time something happens now, you can say, "What am I thinking about that caused this?" and choose different thoughts. Man becomes what he thinks about. The truth will set you free, but at first it may piss you off. Move on and look at the brighter side of creating stuck beliefs. Sometimes you can be practicing everything along the lines of universal laws, but you still feel stuck. It may be a subconscious belief working against you. You have learned that your beliefs were formed and stored away. You have also learned that you can choose a new belief if you find it doesn't serve your new direction in life. If you are aware of a recurring theme in your life, use the law of polarity to form an opposite belief. Ask a direct question like, how can I choose another more empowering belief about this? Listen to the answer and begin saying the new belief to yourself. If you have been struggling with success for a long time, saying "I am already successful" will sound like a lie, or even feel uncomfortable if you are replacing a stuck belief. But understand that this is part of the process. Allow the feelings to come up and circulate out so you can release them. Feelings are just energy. Now is the time to let go of that old energy to allow new energy in. If you have a coach or a friend trained in listening for beliefs, now is the time to have a conversation with someone about where you think you are stuck. It is best that you do not continually dwell on the issue, because you do not want to talk about current unwanted circumstances. Have a powerful conversation about it with someone skilled in coaching people on moving forward quickly. Find out what your beliefs are telling you that you cannot hear inside your box. If you have the belief "I have to work hard for money," then you will probably be working a lot of hours. Whether you have financial success or not, replace that with something else, like "Money comes easily to me in large amounts and I have plenty of time to play in 100 speed manifesting." 7 Steps to Abundance. Now Lori L. Mitchell. Enjoy life with my friends and family. Whatever you say, do and think continually will become the flavor of your life. Choose wisely and get support when you get stuck. Speed manifesting. TM wobbles when you begin to develop those mental muscles and manifest quickly. You may get an unpleasant surprise of manifesting exactly what you don't want, because you slipped back into negative thinking and acting. Once I began to deliberately use these principles, manifesting began to speed up for me, and I got a classic lesson to pay attention to what I was thinking and doing in alignment. Driving an hour to work in my beautiful silver Korean silk suit, I was very careful not to spill my takeaway coffee. Each sip I took was leaning off to the side, not over my lap. I had a few sips left, and as I got out of the car I took my cup with me. Like some mechanical robot, my hand did some trick on its own and it somehow just tipped itself right into my skirt. Astounded, all I could say was, "Isn't that interesting?" That was when I learned that this stuff works fast. Good lesson, and the sting came out too. There is no reason to worry about speed, as you have the protection of grace, and it gives you signals to change your thinking before you actually manifest negative desires. You are now trained to be aware of what you were thinking, feeling or doing when something unpleasant occurred, and you can redirect and refine your requests this way. This is a natural part of the process, and it serves as a reminder to pay attention to what you think and do together. If you notice a negative thought, just mentally cross it out and say, "No, next thought please." You are in charge of your subconscious, so if you don't like the results, just check what you were thinking and think again. Remember to let it be alright to learn by mistakes, even though your childhood programming may have been different. Maybe that is why you learned to walk before you learned to talk, because you would have found out that falling 100 times before walking successfully might be called 100 mistakes. Where is your focus? Have you ever seen the funny home videos where someone is tobogganing in an open field of snow with only one tree, but they still somehow magnetically slide toward the tree and bam? It's the same with young bicycle riders. Why is that? It is a simple mechanism that you need to know about so you can use it and not be used by it. Your subconscious constantly sends orders to your body. You are programmed to use your 5 senses, and if you are looking at a tree, by virtue of your attention and your emotions, sometimes fear, then the subconscious only understands that your order is to go there. The thought zombie is loose again. This works everywhere in your life. 101. What are you paying attention to right now? Is it your list of desires and intentions? Is it your diary planner list of actions for today? Or is it the memory of a miserable day at a challenging, unsatisfying job and what you don't have in your bank account? It is so important that you turn this around and use your imagination to replace the old recordings with happy images and feelings and focus on what you want. If my family has difficulty relating at any time, a clash of four free wills does happen from time to time. I use this technique to help us. I look at this family portrait of us having a playful, fun time at a water park. Generally things calm down within 10 minutes of doing this exercise. It works because when I look at it I remember and feel the happy emotions we were experiencing as this picture was taken, and I am not drawn into reacting to current circumstances either. Compared to other techniques for change, focusing on what you want is much simpler and less painful. No long years of self-assessment or processes of digging up and releasing past memories. That path is still available for you if you have a persistent limiting belief that prevents you from manifesting. If, however, you are ready for a simple way to create from your intentions, just practice focusing on what you want. Turn your focus from your unwanted circumstances and focus on your desired good. Stay on target. Don't get distracted. Keep focused on your part, choosing your outcome with clarity, feeling joyous anticipation and gratitude, and finally getting busy with action. Impatience is a sign that your thoughts are fear-based and that you doubt the power of your creating. Keep your faith as the universe partners with you to obligingly deliver your clear, definite requests through aligning yourself to your intentions in the now to source energy by feeling gratitude for what you are about to receive. You are always creating, passively or actively, so getting actively involved in what you create is a better way of living life the way you were meant to, and you will come out better than ever because you designed it that way. 102. Speed Manifesting. 7 Steps to Abundance. Now L'Oreal Mitchell Review Exercise of 7 Steps. Fill in the blanks now. Step 1. KWIW. Step 2. I with E. Step 3. FG. Step 4. TD. Step 5. B the P and POF W. Step 6. TA. Step 7. SC. Embed the process of speed manifesting TM into your mind so you can call on it anytime. 103. Speed Manifesting. 7 Steps to Abundance. Now Step 1. Know what you want. Step 2. Imagine with emotion. Step 3. Feel gratitude. Step 4. Think deliberately. Step 5. Beware the power and poison of words. Step 6. Take action. Step 7. Start circulation plus alignment. 2. Now to download this free speed manifesting wall poster, go to www.speedmanifesting.com/bookgifts.htm. 104. Speed Manifesting. 7 Steps to Abundance. Now L'Oreal Mitchell Summary. When everything finally improved for me, this time I knew why. I was in the flow of life, understanding and using the universal laws. If something stopped working, or I got off track or slowed down, I was able to review the basics about the laws. Then I was free to review my current beliefs, challenge them and actively change my thinking and feeling, which then changed my behavior, my results and therefore my world. 1 year after we had turned our lives around, I was standing with my husband Gary in front of a huge Bugs Bunny statue at Warner Bros. Movie World theme park. 10 minutes from our new home, there we were, waiting for our youngest son to finish his Roadrunner roller coaster ride. As we sat together I noticed the real garden of decorative carrots and celery planted behind us. Then it struck me, the memory, the emotion, the moment. I had been here before, 18 months earlier. We were at this exact same spot. We were on holiday then and, in another layer of time, or was it, we were having a conversation. Gary and I were talking about the possibility of moving to Australia. I had just said, I imagine us living here, being able to come whenever we want. Most New Zealanders would be happy to take their kids to the Gold Coast theme parks once in their lifetimes. I imagine us having this conversation again, saying wow, we live here. The only difference was that this was real, in the now. And in that overwhelming moment of gratitude and awe I excitedly reminded Gary, He remembered too, and all he could say was wow with a satisfied smirk. We did it. It was incremental steps toward our dreams, always knowing that things would work out fine. We use these powerful steps without study, yet now that we know them we can consistently duplicate our success and move through any obstacles. Manifesting anything you want in life is profoundly simple. The struggle is always in the resistance. Don't hesitate. Make a decision. Take massive action to find and follow your dreams and create your world intentionally. Learn how to release the energy within you that is holding you back. Thoughts of scarcity come from fear. Thoughts of abundance come from love, appreciation and faith that there is more than enough, and you will get more of whatever you are continually thinking and feeling. When you align your heart, life and actions with that universal principle, you are truly in the flow of life and your greater good will continue to grow and expand to currently unbelievable heights. 105. It starts with you making a decision now to accept the abundance that flows past you as you begin to believe that you already know how to accept it. The how is flexible and open, and you will find that the truth is always simple. Use the profound simplicity within these words to master manifesting your life. Now is the time, and the only time to make a difference in your life and the lives of those around you by living the life you were born to live. 106. Speed Manifesting. 7 Steps to Abundance. Now Lori L. Mitchell from A Return to Love. Reflections on the Principles of A Course in Miracles. Our greatest fear is not that we are inadequate, but that we are powerful beyond measure. It is our light, not our darkness, that frightens us. We ask ourselves, who am I to be brilliant, gorgeous, handsome, talented and fabulous? Actually, who are you not to be? You are a child of God. Your playing small does not serve the world. There is nothing enlightened about shrinking so that other people won't feel insecure around you. We were born to make manifest the glory of God within us. It is not just in some, it is in everyone. And, as we let our own light shine, we consciously give other people permission to do the same. As we are liberated from our fear, our presence automatically liberates others. Marianne Williamson. Testimonials and Reviews. I want to share the outcome of the speed manifestation study I have undertaken. I, like many of you, was in search of a method by which I could tune into the natural laws of the universe. After seeing The Secret and a reader of many philosophy books, I knew there were immutable laws that govern the universe. My search took me in 50 different directions. Not that any of them was in vain, but I was looking to the outside and the answer lies within. Like I hadn't heard or read it 1,000 times before but just did not get it. What I did was to narrow my search to only a couple of authors: Proctor, Vitale, Hanel, Wattles and Mitchell. I am presently studying the Master Key System by Charles F. Hanel and using the Speed Manifesting 7 Steps to Abundance now by Lori Mitchell to fine-tune my search. Well, the results have been nothing short of miraculous. The remarkable similarities between Hanel and Mitchell's message were enough to set me on the right course. They put everything I was searching for in a simple and easy perspective. Now those books are almost 100 years apart from each other, yet they coincide with one another perfectly. I found the answers I was searching for and they were a lot simpler than I ever imagined. I followed Mitchell's method to the letter. Now here's what happened. My intention was to be able to say I am so happy and grateful now that it is August 15th and I find happiness and harmony in all areas of my life and I have secured employment at XXXXX Software Inc. It is August 10th and I am happy and feeling harmonious with all that surrounds me. I have a deep gratitude for things too numerous to list. I make that long list every day, without fail. And as I am writing this, I am in Denver, Colorado training for my new position as Regional Sales Manager for XXXXX Software Inc. I thank you, Lori Mitchell, for your coaching and direction, and you are a part of my daily gratitude list. May joy, abundance and wealth be yours. Vinny from Trisha, hairdresser. Her intention was I am happy and grateful now that it is June 27th and my family and I are living in style and comfort and everyone's needs are being met. Hi Lori, great things have been happening and manifesting for me since we last spoke. A new client of mine followed me into a shop and asked if I had found the appropriate rental property to move to. As we had a conversation about this when I cut her hair, she called me that night and her husband offered my mother, my young daughter and me their family homestead acreage property at a rental price we could afford. We went to see it and left to think about it as I felt that something wasn't quite right. By the end of the week they called me back and said they changed their mind, but would we consider renting their investment property? It is in a beautiful area of the city, more convenient, and it is a large spacious house completely new inside, with dual living and a pool, and they would keep the grounds and pool for us and at the same rental price they offered before. This property is worth so much and it is exactly what I love as in style of home, and God has again brought through me what I have asked for. We are all very excited and feel very blessed and grateful and rich in every way. We move in, would you believe, on Friday the June 27th. Hi lovely lady, thanks. Have manifested in my accounting course and diploma in community welfare course from it, and it's a 2-year course I am fast tracking, so have been very busy, both for free. Thank you so much for starting this, and I'm sure everyone agrees you are so inspiring. Keep up your wonderful inspirations. Love, Birgit X Bravo. I am finding it hard to put your book down. I absolutely love it. Carol Matheson. I found this book amazing. It is easy to read and made me realize that I had control over my future. After doing the practical exercises, I am now noticing good changes in my life. Events have occurred, seemingly out of the blue, which are bringing me closer to my goals. Mark Rapson. Thanks Lori. Things are certainly happening quickly for me. I am so happy you came into my life. SE. Hi Lori, thought I'd send you an update about my speed manifesting. I received a phone call asking if I was interested in upgrading my car to a Holden Barina. My first thought was, interesting. My intention was to manifest a red Mazda 6, but a white Holden Barina shows up? Okay, so I thought to flow with this and go and have a look at the car, make some inquiries and negotiate on a price, etc. Everything just fell into place and I picked the car up tomorrow. I've been doing the Grateful Dance for this and knowing that this is an upgrade to what I have and a stepping stone to manifest my new red Mazda 6. Hoo. Zoom zoom zoom. Connie F122 Speed Manifesting. 7 Steps to Abundance. Now Lori L. Mitchell, you have the power to create your life now, and it is more simple than you can possibly imagine to apply that power and get results quickly. Speed Manifesting TM is a process which follows universal laws. Once you understand and master 7 steps plus 1 magical key, you will be able to manifest your desires incredibly fast. This book is a step-by-step guide to creating, complete with exercises and assignments. You will be astounded, amazed and in awe of your own power to create consistent, fast results once you learn to apply these principles. This book will show you how to duplicate consistent success using universal laws, get rid of old, worn-out beliefs and choose new ones. While going with the flow of life, keep building the joy in life without sacrificing anything as you increase abundance in all areas. Give you the key to shift from manifesting and speed manifesting TM. Turn around your health, your wealth and your freedom while experiencing fulfilling relationships. About the author with a successful career in the computer industry. Lori Mitchell got caught up in chasing success and lost track of the true formula for wealth. She thought that hard work and knowledge had been the cause of her growing accomplishments as she worked in a competitive world. When all her strategies stopped working, she began a journey. At first she only knew it as pain, frustration, discomfort and confusion, because it seemed that her life and finances were going backwards. Her search for a way to make life work went on for years. One day she found the way and she soon learned how to create and manifest quickly. And now you can too. Speed Manifesting TM is based on years of research on prosperity, abundance and the law of attraction. It is a tried, tested and proven way to continually create the life of your dreams. It took the author from debts of over $200,000 to being financially free and living in the place of her dreams, abundantly healthy with a deeply satisfying family life. Join the group of people starting a revolution by taking back their real power in life. www.speedmanifesting.com. Photograph by Tim Lees, Toronto, Canada. www.timlees.com. 123